Welcome to Steel Stadium for the Cavemen's second home game of this early season. I'm Danny Phillips alongside Matt Rendell. We will be giving to you today some Cavemen football. They face Concord, an NLC rival. Sure to be a big matchup as last season it was a 1-point difference. So we're looking forward to seeing two very close programs face off here this Friday evening.
Yeah, we're excited for it. You can see on the field here, we've got the Cavemen in their maroon jerseys, which is kind of fun, then the all-whites for Concord. Concord's actually back here next week as they will be playing their home games on the road this year. They're getting a whole new facility over there at Concord, so exciting time for Concord as we just got a new field and facility. We didn't miss any home games, but they're doing a whole new upgrade, so that's exciting. We talked to both the coaches. We'll give you some insight as we go on, but we're excited for Cavemen football.
100%.
Don't forget, Isaiah Eggleston helping us out here tonight. Isaiah, you're with us for the first time. You were here last time listening to us. What do you like about the Cavemen football team?
I like their defense, and their offense is pretty good. Their offensive line is
top notch, yeah. Yeah, perfect. We're going to try to get Isaiah on air here tonight. He's going to give us some score updates, lots of games happening around the area. So we're excited for that here tonight.
100%. One thing about Concord playing their games on the road, they weren't very excited about it, neither were the fans, but now they're using it as a mantra, some motivation for them. Their team mantra this season, just like the Cavemen's fight, this season theirs for Concord. Minutemen are going with seek and destroy, much like the Metallica song that they play in the locker room every single game. So they're using it as motivation now. Every single game is essentially a road game. They're getting on the bus every single Friday, and they're using it as motivation and a driving factor this season.
Yeah, and you can see we got lots of stuff going on. The band's getting here on the field, so lots of fun, exciting stuff happening here. We had an exciting volleyball game last night, so that was fun. 5 sets. The Cavemen didn't come out victorious. They fell in that last set, but it was an exciting night overall as the Cavemen volleyball team tries to improve this season.
100%. So Mishawaka Sports, a lot going on.
Yeah,
new athletic director, new assistant athletic director. A lot of big things happening here throughout the halls of Mishawaka regarding athletics and academics as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, tons of stuff. To hit athletics again, I got to shout out. My dad's at home watching tonight. He's not out here, but boys soccer. 2 wins on the season already, hoping for some more. They didn't win any last year, so that's an exciting improvement for them, and I know they're having a good time out there at Baker Park. Girls have gotten a few wins under their belt too. I'm going to go out next week to girls soccer. I'm going to go out to boys tennis and girls golf the week after, so lots of fun stuff happening here at Mishawaka as we're getting ready for a kickoff of varsity football.
Yeah, 100%. Looking forward to it. Again, we talked about how close these two teams are in style of, not really style of play, but style of running the program, rather. Yep. Two close staffs and things like that. They hang out during the off season. So this will be a little bit more of a personal game, much like last week with Penn.
So we're going to take a quick break here, Daniel. We're going to get a couple things set up we didn't have set up. We've had some difficulty. I think we're going to make it, though, tonight as we got some new people running some new stuff, but we're going to make it work here tonight. So we're going to take a quick break. Daniel and I will be back to get you ready for kickoff here at Steel Stadium.
Forte Waterproofing is celebrating over 60 years of satisfied customers. Experience, innovation, hard work, confidence, pride, honesty, integrity, determined, committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte, fix it for good.
Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back to Steel Stadium. Once again, if you're just now joining us, I'm Daniel Phillips alongside Matt Randall, bringing to you some Mishawaka football, second home game of the season. Looking forward to this one, a huge matchup in the NLC. The NLC is so competitive all year, and look at that, we're on screen.
We're on screen. We're back.
So looking forward to this one.
Last game we didn't get on screen, but now we are. It's an exciting game. First NLC, now you're in rest of the season's conference. So you got to be ready every week. Make sure you're hitting conference play. Make sure you're getting ready to go as you try to, the gauntlet, right? This first half, we talked earlier today, the first half of this season for the Cavemen is tough.
Right.
You had Marion, you played really well. Penn, I think if you're a Mishawaka fan, if you're a player, if you're a coach, you think you could have won that game. And now you got Concord, who's undefeated. They're ready to play, obviously. We talked to Coach Kaler. You've got to be ready every week in anything, but especially NLC as you start to hit all these teams. You got Warsaw later. Plymouth played well last year. You got a lot of teams. Northwood, Northridge always have tough programs. So a lot of things going on, but this is maybe one of the biggest games of the season for the Cavemen.
Right, and it's a grind. These are student athletes.
Yep.
You've got a game Friday night, but all week, maybe that morning you had an AP test or something like that.
Right.
Or an honors class test. I mean, it's tough as a student athlete. You have so many responsibilities, and they've got a lot of talent on this Concord side. One of the biggest ones is Reese Brevard. Big time. And, on the defensive side, if I'm in the middle of taking a calculus test and I know I got to, meet that guy in the A gap, I'm not very excited. It's a lot of pressure.
Well, that's the whole joke about LeBron. Like, I got to take my math test and then go guard LeBron James tonight,
So it's a grind, and it adds to the pressure of the season, which is already very high for these Cavemen.
Yeah, and Reese, you talked about him, Brevard. He's going to play both ways. He's going to be returning every kick. Wouldn't be surprised if some kind of funny kicking situations come up for the Cavemen. So lots of exciting things going on as we get ready for game time pretty soon. We're a couple minutes from the band taking the field. It's a smaller band, but it sounds very really good. They were really good last week. They got 2 songs at halftime. We got dance tonight, middle school and high school dance tonight, and also early in the season, but senior night for band, dance, color guard tonight. So lots of exciting things happening here tonight as we get ready for football.
100%. Am I getting the senior night celebration? Or?
Not tonight. Tonight's for the band, orchestra, or not orchestra, band, dance, all the different things going on. So, color guard, lots of fun. You're going to see the hype videos again. You got Daniel. You put together the football hype video. We saw volleyball last night that we all did. So, just exciting time here, and honestly, beautiful night for football.
100%. I'm really looking forward to it. Again, looking forward to hearing from this band as well. Like you said, smaller, but really, really quality. Good friend of mine, Holly Shine, is a drum major. She's been doing a great job.
Absolutely.
A lot of seniors scattered throughout. So we also had the band hype video. We forgot to mention that one.
We're going to try to bring you a good game tonight. As you can see, the cavemen are kind of going through their walk there with the future cavemen. That's always a fun thing. Tonight's Beager, so if you got students that are at Beager, they might be out here for future cavemen. So you see kind of the high fives they're giving. That's always a fun thing. They went there for Fist Bump Friday this morning. So just really fun, exciting time here to be a Mishawaka fan.
100%. And I love the future cavemen because these football players are high-fiving future cheerleaders,
right.
Band kids, football players. I mean, so it's a very, very cool
valedictorians,
thing.
All the things. All the when you're talking about a school, that's what you got.
Yes, future Mishawaka students. It's always fun to make that connection and show love to the generation coming up. As he said, in about 60 seconds exactly, we'll be hearing from the band. Really looking forward to that. This year's theme is 80s. With Mr. Randall, I guess you would know a lot better than me, huh?
I was born in 1989.
Yep.
You'll remember that because that was the same year Taylor Swift was born.
That's right.
There you go. So remember the 80s is loose. But yeah, I mean, I think they're playing 99 Red Balloons tonight. Something I'm just noticing on the field, you can't see it in frame. I don't know if you saw this, but they got their rock. They have the rock, and got it on a platform, and they moved it, and it's here, the Concord rock. So that's kind of fun.
That is cool.
They're able to move it different places, especially this year, not having any true home games. We'll talk later about some exciting things they got this season. But it's a fun time as the band gets ready to take the field.
100%. Really looking forward to it. So band taking the field in less than 30 seconds, folks. Make sure you enjoyed the show. Again, we'll be bringing to you Mishawaka versus Concord here at Still Stadium on the Mishawaka Network.
Band. I think we did. You were loving it too much.
Let's meet the starters for the defense. And in, he's a junior, 66, Tristan Garcia. At nose, the junior, 61, Isaiah Hunter.
Forte Waterproofing is celebrating over 60 years of satisfied customers. Experience, innovation, hard work, confidence, pride, honesty, integrity, determined, committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte, fix it for good.
Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure.
The color guard is the red shirt, Pete Sutton. Our cheerleader is led by Sarah King and Lily Smith. And our drum major is Holly Scott. Please join us in welcoming Concord Minutemen. Be the Big M and the Mishawaka Fight Song. hits of the 80s, as well as performances from the John and Mishawaka teams. See you at that time in Concord. Caveman is Taking starters from offense, center. He's a junior, 55, Concord. At one guard, senior, 74, Lucas Wilkins. At the yard, senior, 79, Brown. At one tackle, junior, 64, Sander Nelson. At the other tackle, senior, where's 71, Chase Camacho. At one senior, 16, Anderson Cannon. At the other senior, he's a senior, wears 5, Cole Haley. At one halfback, a senior, 28, Arthur Francis. The other halfback, a senior, he wears 24, Will Mason. The fullback wears 11, wears 2, he's a junior, Aiden O'Neill. And quarterback, a junior, he wears 10, Landon Snyder. Head coach, Mr. Keith Kinder.
Nothing but green grass ahead of them. Touchdown, Cavemen.
Do it with me now. L-O-D, 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 L-O-D.
And here come the Mishawaka Cavemen to kick things off. Well, official kickoff awaits still. It'll be coming up here shortly. But this means that they'll go up and sing the school song with the student section. That means things are getting done soon. Looking forward to this matchup. Like we said before the break, this is going to be such a huge one for the entire Northern Lakes Conference. Be a big deciding factor in who will be crowned the champs at the end of the regular season.
Absolutely. We've been prepping pretty much all summer. We've talked about what it looks like. We've talked about, hype videos and game days and what it sounds like. And we're back here for our second game, but a first NLC game. We talked last week, disappointing loss for the Cavemen, but you still can meet a lot of your goals. Yeah, you're not going to be undefeated, but you can still win the NLC. You can still go into, the playoffs, the sectionals, winning, right? Like, you have all these things ahead of you, and so the Cavemen have a chance to start that off here tonight.
100%. It'll be a huge game. Talked to a lot of players, you and I, this week,
Yep.
as well as Coach Kinder and Coach Kaler over at Concord. And there's a lot of energy surrounding this game, a lot of hype, and a lot of hope as well.
Yeah.
If you get this win, we just talked about how much that'll mean for your entire season. Now, last week, the Cavemen fall to the Kingsmen, and that's a big crosstown rivalry. But we talked about it after the game. Although it was a close game, although they felt they could have got it done, it doesn't really matter as much as this Concord game this week because it's a conference game.
Yep.
And this is a team that, you could meet later on. So it's a huge one, and I know
Absolutely.
Coach Kinder and Coach Kaler are really trying to get this win, especially considering how close their staffs are.
Yeah, I mean, you talked to both of them. They're really good friends. They hang out together. They talk a lot. Doesn't mean Coach Kaler likes the offense Keith Kinder runs here. We talked to him a little bit before game. He's not a fan of that necessarily. It's just he did talk about an interesting thing. They're getting new turf, new things over there. But he said this offense for the Cavemen, the kind of triple option, all of that stuff is just so precise on the turf, and that makes it hard. I think both teams are more precise on the turf. It's a more pristine environment. You don't have to worry about holes and ditches and all that stuff. But he said it's so easy for them to get their footing. They don't slip and things like that. So, especially on the offensive line. So it'll be an exciting night here and see what the Cavemen can do coming off their first loss of the season.
Captains, we've got Drew Ginner, Landon Snyder, Walker Hahn, and Lucas DeWilkins for the second week in a row. So that'll be huge. Those are four guys that really make a difference on both sides of the ball for the Cavemen. So understandable to those four captains. Three out of the four are seniors this year.
Yeah, Walker Hahn already has a big season. He's got, he doesn't have all the flashy stats on the tackles and assists, but he has the forced fumble this year already. So he's looking good. And then obviously Landon Snyder, big captain, but also very talented player. On the season, he's already got a big season. He's the leading rusher for the Cavemen. He's got a lot of really talented people around him. He'll talk about the offensive line and the fullback and the running backs, but that first game, he was dynamite. Even against Penn, he had that 60-plus yard touchdown run. But so far in the season, he's got 30 rushes, 311 yards, 10 yards per carry.
Yeah, 100%. And he puts in the work to make sure those things are possible. He's capable of doing those things on Friday nights. Talked to all the players this week, a few guys that I know, and they said that he knows the playbook not only better than everybody, but by a lot. So, as a quarterback, it's what you would expect, but he really knows it inside and out.
Right.
He knows exactly what he's doing and how he can exploit what he sees on the defensive side as well.
Yeah, we were getting ready for kickoff. It's already past 7, but Concord's just coming on the field now. So we'll see when we actually get started as we get ready for the coin toss here between the Cavemen and the Minutemen. Isaiah, you're with us here tonight. Let's run through what kind of games we got that we're going to keep an eye on in the area.
So tonight we got Northridge and Wawasee, Northridge, Plymouth, Warsaw, Goshen, Penn and Riley, Marion and South Bend Adams, Elkhart and South Bend Washington, Fairfield, Jimtown, South Bend, St. Joe, and New Prairie.
Yeah, and then those first three there, Isaiah, you got your NLC schools, Northwood, Wawasee, Northridge, Plymouth, Warsaw, Goshen. You kind of had a weird week where right now this is a marquee game in the NLC. All the other ones have kind of been the teams that have been at the top versus teams that maybe have been at the bottom in the NLC. So we'll see how those games turn out tonight. Obviously of particular interest here, the Cavemen next home game will be against Goshen. They're playing Warsaw. Warsaw has former Mishawaka coach Bart Curtis. They've had a good year. They went to state last year. So it'll be an exciting week of scores as Isaiah will bring you some scores as we go throughout the game. It's going to be Mishawaka receiving. So Concord's going to be kicking off here tonight. Yeah, Coach Kinder told us last game we were here that if they win the toss, they're kicking almost all the time. So they did not win the toss as we are getting ready for football.
Let's see how things go. One thing I didn't see was Kendon Putz there at the captain. He was there last week with Penn. Just mentioning that because he's going to be a huge determining factor in who wins this game here. We were talking to Coach Kaler earlier this week, and he was like six and Ken Clemente, number 6, number 7. They are both two guys that are elite. That's the word he used. Elite.
Yeah, is that what they
So,
said? Interesting. You just had to get that 6 and 7 in there, huh?
Yeah, for no particular
Oh,
reason.
okay,
yeah,
okay.
But they're legit players, and he said the same thing about Drew Ginner, number one. Those are guys that can really create
Yeah.
turnovers and create havoc in the backfield as well.
Well, Putz is your second leading tackler. Honestly, the Caveman's leading tackler, I was surprised by. I thought it would be Putz. Clemente was actually Alex DeMegs, who's not playing tonight. He's out hurt, which they're hoping to have him back soon. But Cam Putz and then obviously Clemente there. Lots of really good defenders. The Caveman defense isn't very big, but they are fast, and you're going to see that on display tonight against that spread offense.
Something else we're going to see is going to make a huge difference. Now, they've got a lot of guys on that defensive line over at Concord, but in the offensive line here in Mishawaka, these are guys that get low, and they're guys that are going to drive you back, and they're going to create that room for big fullback Caden O'Neal and Speedy, Landon Snyder, and then Will Mason and Carson Francis every once in a while as well on the outside. So it'll be a huge offensive game. We'll see if the defense comes to play as well. As you said, Concord will be kicking things off here. And then the game will be underway. 48 minutes of top-notch NLC football awaits. Bang with the drum roll. Houston and Amir Dean back to field things. Amir Dean's got it, and we are underway. The return, finding some room, past the 30. Leaning towards that 40-yard line. He's going to be just short down at the 39. What an electric return for that Caveman receiving team.
Well, and you've kind of seen it, a little flashes of it. Against Penn, he didn't get a lot of yards, but you saw him break some tackles, do some other things. And so Amir Dean has it in him. We talked about the athleticism. He's got it. Can he get it out there just like he did now?
That would be huge. Amir Dean is somebody who's not only quick, but he's very strong.
Absolutely.
Somebody like Ken Clemente, if he's running towards you, running at you, he's going to be there fast.
Well, we heard about Amir Dean on the basketball court last year. He was playing varsity basketball as a freshman, and they said in practice he would just, the word that was used was work. He would work those varsity guys, get buckets, and he didn't get it totally on the court. He didn't get it put together totally in the varsity games, but he's got the athleticism.
No doubt about it. He is way less shy on this football field than he is on the basketball court. That is for certain. Landon Snyder here under center to get things off. Will Mason in motion, hands it off to Caden O'Neal up the middle. And the ball looks like it came out.
They're going to say he's down, it looks like, though.
They'll say he's down 44-yard line. Looked like he was clearly down, knee, elbow. Something was on that turf. So it came in, modest gain. Second and manageable. They'll say 2nd and 5. Mark him at the 45. After the Caden O'Neal run, we'll try it again. No, fake up there. It's going to be Landon Snyder up the middle, just short of midfield. They're going to mark him at that 48-yard line. So a nice little run there. Landon Snyder makes it 3rd and very short. Call 3rd down, the money down. It's where the money is made. It's where the magic happens. Let's see how the Cavemen kind of persevere here after some very minor adversity. Landon Snyder under center, pitch to formation. He's going to hand it off up the middle rather. To Caden O'Neal, storms past midfield and the 45-yard line into enemy territory. They'll mark him right there at the 45. So moving the chains there. It's a little over 60 seconds here. And the Cavemen are moving well. They're moving that ball a little bit. That's exactly what you want. We don't see the Mishawaka Cavemen pass hardly ever. Last year, Landon Snyder only threw for 51 passes. So that'll tell you how often they throw the ball in this offense. We're going to see a lot of run the ball. We're going to see a lot of Caden O'Neal and Landon Snyder. Now we're going to see Caden O'Neal right now up the middle. He's going to be brought down and around the 40-yard line. Caden O'Neal is somebody who, even if you get some hands on him, even if there's contact coming his way, he's still going to get 3 to 5 more yards. He lives off after the contact yards, and it really, really helps out that Mishawaka offense. Not only does it add to the success on the field, but also adds to their mantra, fight, and he always fights for those extra yards after contact. 2nd and 5 once again. And he's going to keep it himself. Landon Snyder going to get dragged down just after getting past the line of scrimmage, so not much there, maybe a yard or two.
Yeah. Daniel, we're just running some technical stuff. We were trying to get a clock there. We had it. I tested this week, and then some things didn't quite work out. We're going to try, but still no clock here this week. We've got a plan. It's just not going together yet.
And it does happen. But you know what? We persevere.
That's right.
Pistol formation once again. Landon Snyder under center. He's going to hand that one off up the middle to Caden O'Neal.
Still up.
He's still breaking through tackles to the outside, down and around the 35-yard line.
And he needed it. If he gets stopped there, it's going to be 4th and 1 maybe, but he broke through there. He's able to kind of stumble his way. Like somehow, look at that, somehow he broke through. And honestly, luckily, Concord was still paying attention. They made that tackle because I might think he's down, but he was able to get up and get that first down.
Huge run by Caden O'Neal there. He's going to move the chains once again. Matriculating down into enemy territory. Handoff. Caden O'Neal again. That contact doesn't stop him past the 30-yard line, marked at the 28. Scratched that to 29.
Yeah, really good run there. That's just a hard run by O'Neal, getting the yardage he could before he goes down. And that's where you want. If you're the Cavemen, you want 2nd and 5. If you're at 2nd and 9 or 2nd and plus, right, that's where you know this offense has struggled in the past. So you want to make sure you're ahead of the sticks, and they are.
Cavemen doing some really good work on the ground so far. 2nd and 4. 8:15 remaining in this first quarter since we don't have a clock. Under center. Landon Snyder's going to keep it himself. Try to find a hole. Going to just kind of dive forward for as many yards as he can. They're going to mark him there at the 32-yard line. Gain of 3.
Yeah, and that's not a super impressive run, but 3 yards gets you to that short, and even if you don't make it, you have a chance on 4th down.
Honestly, right there, that run's kind of a business decision. He could try to truck through the defender, but instead he just dives down. Doesn't want to risk losing the ball or getting hurt. So they'll say 3rd and 2 instead. From 32-yard line, Caden O'Neal dives forward. And that's going to be a Caveman first down.
Yeah, that's all you need, right? You need to get 2 yards. That's it. And one of those plays for the Cavemen is often going to be that fullback dive.
And you know what? That fullback dive is very, very reliable. We're looking for that clock to start running, and there we go. You know what? We may not have the clock, and I know some people are upset about it, but look, scoreboard, they're having their technical issues too. It happens to all of us. Under center, Landon Snyder. He's going to toss it over to Carson Francis to the outside. Got some room. And Brevard, the man who makes plays on both sides of the field, makes a play right there. Honestly, he could have broke out for a good amount.
If Brevard doesn't make that tackle, there's not much there. I mean, he's probably getting the first down, maybe at least 4 more yards there, as you saw in that replay. And Brevard, we were down on the field, and on that field, we were seeing Brevard, and he's not very tall, 5'8", but he's big and he can run. So we'll talk about him all night, but he gets to that ball fast, and he made that sure tackle.
Landon Snyder's going to keep it himself up the middle, going to be met almost instantly after crossing that line of scrimmage. Maybe he got to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, that was a really good tackle. That looked to be number 9, Schaefer there, the senior. He's listed at tight end, defensive end, and he's listed at 6'2", 205. So he's going to make some plays in the middle there. They've got some big bodies in the front there. They're down 1, which we'll talk about when Concord goes on offense, but really good sure tackle there. 3rd and 6 is kind of that weird zone for the Cavemen. They got to get some yards.
3rd and 6. Caveman is going to be tossed out to the outside, and that's Will Mason who's going to get wrapped up for a loss.
Yeah, big tackle there by Jackson. He was able to get into the backfield, make the tackle for a big loss, and that puts you at 4th and 9, and you wonder what you do here. The field goal unit is not going on the field, so we'll see what the Cavemen do here on 4th and 9.
I mean, 4th and 9, that's more than qualified. 4th and long, and that's a tough one there. Are you going to try to rely on your trickery with the triple option, or are you going to throw one out there?
Yeah, it's going to be a timeout by Coach Kinder.
And an understandable timeout there with 5:25. The Cavemen 4th and 9, a lot to do here. I think we're going to keep it here and kind of just analyze what we've seen in those first roughly 8.5 minutes. scratch that 6.5 minutes, I guess it's been. So it's been about 6.5, 7 minutes so far. And
You can't help yourself, huh?
I don't know what you're talking about. The Cavemen are, working down the field just there. That loss on that big tackle by Concord with the Will Mason toss play, it's just not what you want. We talked to Will Mason just today, actually, and he was like, I'm going to try to take it to the house. Fortunately, right there, it doesn't happen. Blocking schemes happen. Plays get broken up. But you know what? 4th and 9, they may stay out on the field, and they're at a good place to where if they go for the field goal, it's not going to be too much of a lengthy one. Let's see what they do. Yeah, it looks like the long snapper's coming out, so they're going to kick the field goal. Isaiah, how do you feel about that choice there by Coach Kinder, taking the field goal instead of going for it?
I think it's a nice choice. I mean, you don't really want to go for it because there's a risk that you would get down, but you could go for it, but it's a very risky choice.
100%, yeah, because if they get stopped, it's turnover on downs, and, they're still deep into their own territory, but that's way better ball position, or field position, rather, for the Minutemen, as opposed to if they kick the field goal and they make it, and then we kick things off again.
Yeah.
Vandenberg is up, and it is good. Blake Vandenberg nails the kick here for the Cavemen. So they go up 3-0 early on, 5:20 remaining. The Cavemen go up early over the Minutemen. 3-0 is your score. Once again, 5:20 here. We'll bring back some more Caveman football shortly here on the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back to Steel Stadium as the Cavemen are getting ready to kick it right back off to the Concord Minutemen. Shouldn't say right back off. They haven't gotten the ball yet, but they're getting ready to kick it off to the Minutemen here. 5:20 remaining in this first quarter. The Cavemen kind of get stalled a little bit, but it's not a complete stall because they walk away with 3 points. So they don't leave empty-handed. Isaiah, you said you like that play call there, that decision made by Coach Kinder going for the field goal because you don't want to go for it. Then that risk, of getting stuffed and then turnover on downs is too big. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
So Blake Vandenberg, the man who just nailed that somewhat lengthy field goal and get the Cavemen on the board first here over the Minutemen. Nice little squib kick here. It's going to land around the 35, and the Cavemen kickoff coverage team is going to get there fast. So return is going to be stopped right there around the 33-yard line. 34-yard line. So, Isaiah, not bad field position there for the Concord Minutemen, huh?
Yeah.
So we'll see how this Concord offense fares against this fast, hard-hitting Mishawaka defense here. Bo Brunner is somebody myself and Coach Kaler talked about earlier this week. He's able to make plays with his feet and with his arm. Let's see if he can do it here. Flips it off to Brevard. He's got some space. He's running fast, and he gets that first down and more. Brought down at around the 47-yard line. We talked about him, Mr. Rendell and I, as well as myself and Coach Kaler. I mean, he's committed to Ball State. He's got those archetypes that you need to play at the Division I level, and we just saw it there on that run. He's able to find that space, and once he gets it, he's running fast. He's running hard to that first down marker and towards that end zone. Bo Brunner, gun formation. He's going to fake the handoff and look to fire. He's got to his favorite receiver, Gomez, and he's hit right away, but that catch is made, and they are now in Caveman territory, down at around the 46-yard line. So, Isaiah, that was a really, really nice play. Two very nice plays. Two hard-hitting plays for that Caveman defense that usually fares pretty well against the run and the pass, yeah?
Yeah. That ball was a little high on the catch there, but the Cavemen were immediately there.
Right, and it was almost a good thing that he threw that high because there's no way for those really good defenders that get down low on the Mishawaka side to knock that ball out. Brunner's going to keep it himself. He's quick with those feet, going to lean forward, dive probably down around that 40-yard line. That's exactly where they will mark him. So a gain of 7 yards there, and it'll move the chains once again for the Minutemen. They are moving quick. They're hitting these plays fast, and they're moving that ball down the field. They start off with that decent field position between the 30 and the 35 at the 33-yard line, and they're nearly at that same spot in Caveman territory. So offense faring pretty well. He's going to drop back the pass. Brunner here got some space, going to throw it over to Gomez over the middle, gets past the 25, and grabs a few more down around the 23-yard line, really getting deep into Caveman territory, knocking on the door of that red zone.
Yeah, right now the Cavemen not really stopping much anything. That big run by Reverend on that first play, and then the passing that we saw that last week. Once Penn got into a rhythm, the Cavemen weren't able to stop those short, quick passes, and right now that's what they're taking advantage of.
Brevard got that one run so far, but this play is the one that I keep replaying. It's one that you start to drive with, and that's a pretty good decision by me. Great by that play caller over on that opposite sideline. Get the best player of the ball. Brunner is going to get out to the left side, got some space, working that sideline, and he's going to move the chains again, get into that red zone. Let's see where they'll mark him at. May have gone out of bounds. They'll say he's just outside 10-yard line, Isaiah. They'll mark him at the 11. With 3:06 remaining in this first quarter, these Minutemen keep moving the chains. They're doing a really good job. Pistol formation. Brunner, he's going to go ahead and hand that off to Brevard, who's going to break a tackle, try to dive forward for a few. He's going to gain around 5 yards there. It's not bad. Considering he got hit at that line of scrimmage, sheds that off. Preciado tries to take him down, then he gets met a couple yards further at the 6-yard line. So a nice little gain of 5, a little under 3 minutes remaining here in this first quarter. And the Minutemen definitely performing a little bit better than the Cavemen offense so far. Brunner and Bravado really getting things going here. And Gomez with 2 big receptions here to start things off. Brevard is going to get it working to his right, and he's going to walk it in, but there is a flag. We'll await the signal from the official. He'll kill the clock, and he'll say holding on the Minutemen. That's a tough one there because it erases that touchdown. Not what you want. It's going to move them backwards quite a ways. And Isaiah, you know a lot about football. Flags, they just ruin your drive. If you see a flag, what's the first thing you're thinking?
Holding.
Holding, especially with the run, right? I mean, when I see a flag and somebody's running the ball, usually those plays in general, actually, whether it's running or passing, it's usually going to be a holding penalty. And officials say that you could really call holding on any and every play of football.
Yeah, it's a very common call.
100%, yeah. Drops back the pass. Brunner, he's going to find a man, and in the seam, touchdown. Concord Minutemen, huge catch on that left side. Wow, that's a really, really big catch, Isaiah. That's Mark Herman, number 3, the wide receiver for the Minutemen, making that catch there. We watched that replay. He just shoots off the line, running that little seam route. Brunner just hits him in stride. Quick little touchdown for the Minutemen. That was a really well-played drive. Aside from that holding call that erased a touchdown, not great. But then they go ahead and put it right back on the board with a nice little passing play. PAT. That one is up and good. So that'll add one more to their total. 7-3 is the score with 2:44 remaining. Cavemen got some work to do when they come back. And you know what? We're going to be right back here shortly. Again, score 7-3. The Cavemen trailing to the Minutemen here at home at Steel Stadium on the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back to Steel Stadium. Thank you all for joining us here on the Mishawaka Network. The Minutemen, for our break, hit a nice little seam pass play there to Herman. Brunner and Herman connect there and results in the score. Isaiah, that was a really, really good play, especially after that holding call. You saw Brevard run it in on the right side. They called the holding, flag was there. They get backed up, and then they call out probably one of their go-to passing plays there. Hit him right in the seam, Brunner did, to Herman, and it results in a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, totally thought that the caveman person was gonna let him. I mean, the caveman wouldn't let him score, but
It does
apparently
happen.
that was just a good. That was just a good route.
Amir Dean showing some shiftiness there. Gets out to the outside, past the 50, working his way towards the 45 to the 40, and he's now down at the Concord 42-yard line. Not the Mishawaka, the Concord 42-yard line. They will start here in enemy territory. That was a huge electrifying return by Amir Dean, the sophomore. But there are multiple flags on the ground.
It's probably gonna be holding.
Yeah, it's a good bet.
I would agree the same with that one there. I would argue the same thing. It's not what you want, but that's still a really, really huge return for your team as far as momentum.
Offsetting penalties, probably personal fouls, it looks like. So that's just, teams getting a little too chippy out there.
And it does happen.
Yeah.
These are players that know each other. And
Absolutely.
they know what's at stake here. So those penalties, offsetting each other there, it's pretty big for the Cavemen after that huge return. You don't want those yards taken away.
Right. We have done a lot of work. We have a clock currently, so there's something. It's there.
You know what, Mr. Randall, as our good friend Anna Yoder would say, you're doing great.
Yeah,
You're
there you
doing
go.
great.
There you go. That's a good point. Eli too. Eli's working the camera out there. He's very positive.
Yeah, Eli, you're doing great too.
There we go.
Keep the positive vibes going. 2:32 remaining in this first quarter. Again, huge return there from Amir Dean, the sophomore, who's really earned his stripes out there on the field wearing the maroon and white. He's somebody that Coach Kinder was really, really excited about, as well as Kyle Shaw and Coach Matt Lewinsky, because he's able to work on that field. Driving forward is Caden O'Neal, and he still doesn't want to go down. He's going to be brought down finally at the 35-yard line for a gain of 7.
Well, and Caden O'Neal had a number of good runs on that first drive. If they don't lose those yards, they might have a chance for a fourth down play. They just weren't able to do that. So right now, Cavemen had a good first drive. They've got a chance here on the second drive to make something happen.
And let's see what they do here. This is a huge drive for the Cavemen, responding to that touchdown on the first drive of the Minutemen's offense. Landon Snyder's going to hand it off up the middle. Caden O'Neal again, who's met with a sea of defenders. But again, he just doesn't want to go down.
Right. And not a lot there, but you get positive momentum, right? Like, even if you're not losing yards, and that's big for this Caveman offense.
Right, and we'll talk about this all the time, Mr. Runner. We said the same thing when the Cavemen faced Marion here at Steel Stadium. He's still going to get those 2 to 3 yards no matter what.
Well, right there, they marked him, give him a first down. So, yeah, you're only getting a couple yards, but if you can get first downs, you're in good shape.
So big first down here for the Cavemen. Pistol formation they're lined up in. Landon Snyder's going to hand it up again up the middle to Caden O'Neal, and he's going to be stopped at around 25-yard line. So, again, a gain of 7 there. I mean, you got a gain of 7, gain of 3, gain of 7. If you get another gain of 3 here, a 2nd and 3, it's another first down. So if they keep moving the ball like that, nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, and that's what you want. You're already almost in the red zone. If you can get first downs, you can make plays happen. You're in good shape, and you can score touchdowns. That's what they're going to need. Field goal on their first drive. Yeah, it's nice to get points, but you really got to score some touchdowns against this Concord team.
Up the middle once again with the fullback, Caden O'Neal. He's going to get a few short of the first down. Say a gain of 1 there. So it looks like they're kind of anticipating this fullback dive here, the Minutemen defense. And there, Caden O'Neal, a rarity occurs. He gets stopped for only 1 yard.
Yeah, but you got 3rd and short. That's all you need. 3rd and short gets you there. That gets you first downs as they're going to try to get just a few yards here.
And Landon Snyder's going to keep it himself, try to stumble forward, and they'll say it is a first down. The chains will move. You know, this is really nice, Mr. Run. I don't have to say 9 seconds because you all can
That's
see
right.
it
We can see
on
it.
your screen.
And that will probably end up being the last play of the first quarter as that clock's going to wind down. But we're going to stick here for a first quarter. What do we got going on here at the first quarter break?
Well, we've got Isaiah making an appearance again. We're going to go over some of these games going on around the area, starting off with NLC games, then working our way down to some games just around the area.
Yeah, we've got 2 score updates. Start with the first one there.
Northwood and Wawasee. Wawasee scored. They're up 7-0 over Northwood at away at Wawasee.
Yep.
And then we got Jimtown and Fairfield. Jimtown at home, up 7-0 over Fairfield.
Yeah, 2 big scores. Wawasee hasn't been the greatest football team. They're trying to build something. I actually learned today for the first time they're running the same offense as the Cavemen. They're up, like you said, 7-0, Isaiah, and then Jimtown has that lead over Fairfield. We're going to look down at the field. We got some field goal attempts and some kicking going on here. Let's see. It looks like Allie Van Neville. Evan Lynn told us she was 2 for 30. Oh, no. She was 2 for 30 practicing, and she whiffed on that one. So, do you know who the other is? Eddie?
Maybe. I'm not sure who that is.
Let's see if we can see. Yeah, that is Eddie. He's a golfer.
Oh, Eddie Kozlowski.
There we
Wow.
go. I
There you
wasn't going to try the last name.
Yeah, well, we got it.
Let's see what he can do here. He's got that beanie on and the shorts in that. Oof.
Good golfer.
So
not a
far
great
this year,
kicker,
we
yeah.
are 1 for 4. I think
right.
Tori Bacheski
Yeah, she
nailed
got it.
it. Yeah. And we hit the bar on the other one last week, didn't we?
Believe
2
so.
weeks ago, yeah. So, Cavemen trail going into the second quarter. They'll have the ball coming out of this timeout, but good kicks there. Good job, Isaiah, giving those updates. We're going to get you more throughout the night, but the big one, Wawasee up 7-0 on Northwood.
Yeah, that's a pretty big game. You know, NLC determining game there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on, considering Wawasee's program history and Northwoods as well. So now we shift our direction to the second quarter here. Cavemen still trailing by 4. They flip sides of the field. And Caden O'Neal's going to get outside, drive forward, breaking tackles left and right. Bringing guys with him past that 15-yard line, maybe right at it. But
it takes the refs blowing the whistle to get him down there as he just kept going. I mean, it looked like he might get 3 or 4 yards, and then all of a sudden he's spinning there, and he's hitting into guys, and they're just trying to bring him down, but can't.
So they'll mark him at the 15 for progress. And, I mean, that's a very positive run. It's exactly
absolutely.
what you want.
It's 100% what you want.
So now 2nd and short, 2nd and 4 to be exact. And handoff again inside to Caden O'Neal, and he's going to get that first down marked at the 10-yard line. He's really able to muscle his way through that offensive line that's making some pass for him there up the middle.
And this has been the Caden O'Neal show. This is one of my least favorite things in all of football, that 1st and goal from the 10.
It's not what you want.
I hate it. I want that 1st and 10 from the 12. That's what I want.
I like that.
You can get a first down.
Right, you got that space.
Yeah.
Now you have to score to get a first down. And just short, Landon Snyder, or what they say he's in.
I think they're going to call him just short. You're going to see on this replay here from the field, there's a great angle of it. Landon Snyder just kept that thing spun around a tackler here. What a spin. And he almost gets in, but yeah, he's just short there. The ball didn't quite hit that plane, so good camera work there on the field by the crew.
So mark him at the goal line. Right a place. To get a first down, there is no first down. They have to score. There's no choice there. They're going to sneak it up the middle.
And you're seeing Athletic Director Evan Fraz on the field saying touchdown. I think it probably is. Yep, there it is.
And we've got it.
And you can see here, I mean, it's almost impossible to see where, where they are, but they're going to give them a touchdown there.
There we go. Landon Snyder adds another rushing touchdown to his season resume. And the Cavemen will go up over the Minutemen. Now 9-7. Blake Vandenberg going to try to nail this point after and make it 10-7, 3-point lead for the Cavemen.
And a big response by the Cavemen there, right? If they don't score a touchdown there, they've really got to, spin their wheels a little bit, and this is big getting that lead back.
Right, and also coming off of that huge return on the kickoff, you really want to capitalize, use that momentum, and don't waste that huge return there. Drew Ginter, the holder. That snap is good, and so is the kick. 10-7 is your score with 10:17 remaining in the second quarter. The Cavemen go up. Huge response by Landon Snyder in that Caveman offense. We'll see what they bring to you here when the kickoff teams take the field here. More Caveman football awaits here on the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
All right, welcome back here to Steel Stadium. If you're just now joining us, I'm Daniel Phillips. This is Matt Rendell. We've got Isaiah here joining us. Isaiah, during the break, we talked about some things that you want to look at if you're the coach of either side. What are some of those things?
Some of those things are like not getting any flags and just running the ball pretty good.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
You want no flags. That means you don't lose any yards. That kickoff, let's see if they say
Looks like it
goes
went out of bounds, yeah.
So,
not what you want, but we've talked about this a lot. I'm pro out of bounds sometimes.
Yeah,
they're not going to score a touchdown. Yeah, they give the ball, but they didn't score.
Look, I play a lot of Madden in college football. I'm never going to say pro out of bounds. I like them starting.
I play a lot of NCAA 26. I'm out here. I'm in the road to glory. I got 1,600 yards rushing in like 5 games.
You're playing Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Stadium post going crazy. You do not want them at the 40-yard line. Keep them inside the 10. But
yeah,
anyway.
but they're not going to score,
I get it. So they will start things off here at the 35. So Brunner and company had a huge drive there with that Minutemen offense to start things off. Let's see if they can keep that going. Big pass over to the receiver, gets past the 40-yard line, marked at the 42. That was number 13, Chase Thompson there.
Yeah, and that was that tunnel screen. You're kind of coming in around, a little close to being past the line of scrimmage. You got linemen downfield, which is okay if you get that behind the line of scrimmage, but he was a little close to that line of scrimmage. So watch for that again as they found some success with that screen.
The officials will certainly keep an eye on that as well.
I'm sure Coach Kinder will let him know.
No doubt about it. 2nd and 3. Just under 9:40 here. Shotgun formation. Gonna hand it off and gonna get met in the backfield right away. Tries to get back up, but met again by a sea of Caveman defenders.
Yeah, great play there on the line as they got him behind those. I don't know that he was down though, so it was a good job following that up because he kind of spun. He might have been still up, so it's a good job of kind of sticking with that play and getting that I don't know. They're telling us he was down. He looked not down to me.
I didn't see a knee on the turf, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Garcia thought he had him down. Maybe we try to finish those tackles. He was celebrating a little early. We got to make sure we handle business first. But nonetheless, they'll call him down. 3rd and 7 will be your down distance here. Considering how well they've been throwing the ball around, I would think that they're going to pass it here. They're in empty formation, so they certainly will. Huge rush, big pressure on Brunner. He's got to get rid of it. He's going to pass it downfield, and that's huge. It looks like the ball may have touched the ground, but they didn't blow the whistle. That's huge from Thomas if he made that catch.
Not only that, he was close to that line of scrimmage. A great rush here, but they didn't contain. They got to him. I mean, he's really close to that line of scrimmage, but Groninger kind of came for the ball, left his man open there as the Cavemen could not get the 4th down.
We're seeing no flag, so maybe no illegal forward pass.
Yeah,
there,
I think it's just close. I don't know that he was. I think that was close.
I would agree with that statement there, and they say he caught that ball. So
yeah,
huge throw by Brunner, huge catch by Thompson, and huge play for this offense. Big run up the middle, got some space. He's running. Gomez not stopped.
Touchdown.
Dean tried to take him down, but that's going to be a Minuteman touchdown with 8:15 remaining. That was a huge
Big
play
run.
there. Early in the drive, he gets that done, just finds those holes there, and Amir Dean gets hands on him for 10 yards, and he just drags him to the end zone along for the ride.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that replay. He just took control of that. I mean, Amir Dean caught him, but he couldn't get him down.
That's a tough one there. Huge play for that offense. They got back-to-back explosive drives. That one even crazier than the last. It's Nathan Potter here for the point after, and that one will be good. Through the uprights. 8:15. It's 14-10. And we talked about this earlier, Mr. Randall.
Yeah.
It's going to be a game of scoring, and it may be who has the ball last will win this game. That may be the determining factor. But nonetheless, we're keeping it here in the second quarter. 14-10, 8:15 remaining in this second quarter. The Cavemen trailing by 4 here on the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back, folks, to the Mishawaka Network, where we bring to you the last 8 minutes and 15 seconds of this first half. We saw that big touchdown run there by Gomez up the middle, left side. Had Amir Dean along for the ride for the touchdown for that last 10 yards. Huge play, huge drive for the Minutemen. Potter will kick this one up and away. Back to the Cavemen. Amir Dean going to see if he can make a play here. He touches the ball, and it's going to go out of bounds. Kind of a little bit of a break there because he had coverage team guys from the Minutemen side looking to try to get that ball after he touched it.
Yeah, and then luckily it's going through his hands and out of bounds, but Cavemen will take over. But this will be their worst field position by far. They started at the 39. They started past midfield on the second drive. So we'll see what the Cavemen can do here with a long drive. But if you can get a long drive, this offense can chew some clock. There's 8:12 left on the clock, as you can see on your screen. Right?
Right.
There we go.
That's really nice. I mean, email won't get too clogged after this week, which is nice.
Well, and now we fixed, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's better than it was.
100%.
And that's our goal every week, trying to do a little bit better.
Exactly, precisely that. Glad we were able to get that clock for you all. So, Cavemen, Mr. Run, a huge drive here. They're down by 4. And, you know, you start off that first drive, at least you don't leave the field empty-handed.
Right.
But you want that touchdown.
Interesting setup there.
Pitch outside to Francis. He's got a defender there, but he's going to get rid of him, and he's going to drive forward. towards the 23-yard line. That was a big hit.
I think pretty legal though. I don't see any. I think he's still running down the field. This was a good job here, almost a block in the back, but I think Will Mason just gets the side there, and so no block in the back. So they give him a first down, but big hit there at the end.
And honestly, I think that's legal too.
Yeah.
If you're Carson
I don't
Francis,
think anything bad there.
even he would say, yeah, I was trying to cut up that sideline.
Right.
So we got the Minutemen getting.
Yeah, Concord students, actually the fans, a lot of black they're wearing over there.
Maybe it's blackout.
Maybe.
Dives forward, Caden O'Neal towards the 27-yard line. Gets past that 25 for a short run.
Looks like an injury there. They're taking somebody off the field. That's for the Cavemen. That looked like 71.
That'd be Chase Camacho.
Chase Camacho. He's kind of hanging his arm a little bit. I wonder if it's a shoulder. He's talking to Hannah Hess there on the sideline, so they're going to bring in another lineman.
Kind of a big loss there. He's a very talented interior lineman for the Cavemen, so you never want those injuries on that offensive line.
Absolutely not.
And it's going to be a handoff up the middle. O'Neal, he's
Ran
breaking
right into the ref.
tackles, and he's going to be brought down just past midfield. I mean, you think he's getting brought down, and then he just breaks the tackle. And he's really making his mark here on this game.
I'm telling you, and we missed the first casualty of the game on the camera there. As you never know who has the ball. It's so hard.
I mean, he even fooled the cameraman.
And our camera people have been doing really good, right?
And that's right. So, I mean, you think he's down, and he's not.
Yeah.
Or you think Landon Snyder's got it, and he doesn't.
Right, and you don't want to give Snyder any room. He's the leading rusher for the Cavemen. After today, it might be Caden O'Neal.
Let's see about that. Handoff up the middle. Carson Francis trying to get another
There
big
he
run,
goes.
and he will get it. Breaks a tackle, got some room. One defender to beat. Stiff arm, and he's going to be brought down inside the 10-yard line. Electrifying run from Carson Francis.
Yeah, what a run and a big broken tackle right here in the hole. He doesn't usually get that many carries inside the tackles like that, and so he takes it, gets 39 yards, couldn't quite get it in. And we got, oh man, first and goal from the 9 again, Daniel.
And look, it happens, but as long as we get it done, as long as they get it done like they did last drive, they're in good shape.
Yeah.
And I actually lied to you all.
Oh, no.
Chase Camacho is not an interior lineman. Misspoke. He's their tackle, left tackle. They got Manny Rodriguez in for him as that little short run occurs there. Caden O'Neal up the middle.
This is where that field tightens, right? They always talk about the red zone. I'm a big IU fan. They did terrible in the red zone last week. Still won, but you got to score from the 5 and the 1 and those things. And if you don't, that's where you end up losing games. Cavemen got the ball to start the game, so second half kickoffs going to Concord. And right now the Cavemen have second and goal from the 7.
And Mr. Arnold, the fact that they aren't going to begin the ball to start the second half just means that these trips are all the more important. They've got to make sure they capitalize. And Carson Francis is going to try to cut inside, meets the defender, can't spin out of that one.
Yeah.
He's going to be met right at the 5.
Well, he had a nice spin there. Just they got his legs, couldn't get him moving. And now you've got a big one, third and goal from the 4.5-ish, right? So you've got to get probably 2 plays to score. If you're Coach Kinder, he loves to gamble. He likes going for it on 4th. See what they do here on 3rd and short.
Big play here. We're expecting some trickery of some sort. And the triple option is a great formation to run some trickery, and the Cavemen are quite good at it. Clock is running. And Landon Snyder's going to keep it himself, cut inside, and that's a touchdown for the Cavemen just before the 5-minute mark. Landon Snyder puts the Cavemen back on top.
Yeah, huge touchdown. You can see they're really keyed in on Caden O'Neal here as they kind of bite down, and Landon Snyder's just so good, right? He's standing there, he checks it, he runs it, and he sees that opening, right? He just is able to see, he tries outside, there's people there, he cuts up the middle a little bit, and he's able to score, and the Cavemen take the lead again.
It's a big play for the Cavemen. We talked about how they have to capitalize on that trip inside the 10, and boy, do they do it. Drew Gaynor, the holder out there. Blake Vandenberg, point after right through their uprights. That one is good. It's going to extend the Cavemen lead to 3, 17-14. The Cavemen storm back and respond to 2 straight explosive Minutemen drives. 17-14, 5:05 remaining here in the second quarter on the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Hello, I'm Isaiah Eggleston, and here is your score updates. North Wawasee is being Northwood 7-6. Northwood and Plymouth are tied at 7. Warsaw and Goshen are Warsaw is up 14-0. Penn is up against Riley 14-0. Marion is up against South Bend Adams 14-0. Elkhart and South Bend Washington are tied 0-0. Jimtown is up against Fairfield 7-6. And South Bend, St. Joe, and New Prairie haven't started yet.
Yeah, we got nothing. They just started because they're playing in Central Time Zone, as Daniel will get us back to the game.
We are back. Huge recovery there on that return. Almost lost it, but he's going to get back on it.
A squib kick, kind of an onside kick a little bit. Like you
Little
put
bit.
it into open space and see if you can get to it.
You know what? I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
It kind of plays to your philosophy.
Right,
of,
there you go.
Hey, who cares if we kick
Now
it
you're
out
on
of
board.
bounds?
This is what I like to hear, Daniel.
Yeah, who cares if we hit a cheerleader in the face by kicking out of bounds?
I didn't, hold on, I did not say hit a cheerleader in the
I heard
face.
you say it off
No,
mic. I'm
no
just kidding.
chance, Daniel.
So we're getting to it. The Minutemen had 2 back-to-back big drives. And let's see if they can follow that up. I mean, you had a huge passing play to score, huge running play to score. Let's see if they can get something going here. Brunner's going to hand it off to their best player. That's Brevard up the middle.
Still going.
Dancing feet, and he's going to spin forward past the 45, marked at the 46.
We kind of thought going into this game it'd be a little back and forth, kind of shot for shot, and so far that's been true. And right now, yes, the Cavemen have the lead, but it's 2 touchdowns on 2 drives for Concord. Cavemen have 3 drives, got the 2 touchdowns, got a field goal. So defense has got to come up with a stop here and keep Cavemen from going behind again.
This will be a big drive for that Caveman defense, for sure. Here's the formation here. Tight end on the left side. Snap, and he's going to hand it off to Brevard again, making people miss, driving forward, searching, spinning, and he's going to get past in the open field down that right sideline, and he's going to walk his way in.
Unbelievable.
Reese Brevard getting it done, breaking tackles, spinning out of some, and he's going to make yet another electric play for that Minutemen offense. Wow.
I mean, just an unbelievable run by Brevard. I mean, he's tackled, I would guess 5 or 6 times there. He's hit pretty close to the line, hit it right again, and just they haven't made the tackles, and that's the guy you can't let get going. We talked to Coach Kaler. You talked to him in an interview. I mean, that's just an unbelievable run.
That was huge. And, I mean, like you said, I mean, he's getting out to the right side, and what'd you say? He broke, like, what, 6 or 7
At
tackles?
least.
Wow. Potter there, point after. That one is skyrocketed. It probably could have gone for a little bit longer. Almost hit the school buses. But it's going to be another point added.
When we come back here, Daniel, after this break, I'm going to tell you a little idea I have that I heard on a radio show about field goals in the NFL. So after this break, that's a teaser for you.
Okay, awesome. Keeping us on the edge of our seats. 21-17 is the score after the electric play from the back out of Concord, Reese Brevard. Cavemen got a lot to respond to here. 4:02 remaining in the second quarter here on the Mishawaka Network.
Forte Waterproofing is celebrating over 60 years of satisfied customers. Experience, innovation, hard work, confidence, pride, honesty, integrity, determined, committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte, fix it for good.
Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
And we're back here, Still Stadium, 4:02 remaining in the second quarter. Potter's going to kick things back to the Cavemen. Amir Dean's going to try to make sure a little bit safer here.
Yeah, he doesn't have a choice once that ball gets in the end zone. So, listen, I like Dan Le Batard radio show. They do podcasts. They had an idea. Somebody else gave it to them. But in the NFL, field goals are too easy. You're hitting 70-yarders now. You know, you're hitting these long. They talked about, hey, why don't you put a bar across the top? So now you got to make a target. You can't just kick it high and over, right? Now you got to put it inside. What do you think?
That's a little bit like soccer, if you ask me. I think Dave Rundle would like that a lot.
I think so.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. If we want to make things better for kickers, we want to get
rid
of that.
You don't like my no charges in basketball rule, so.
I mean, I'm not mad at it. It's a little different.
Okay. Now we're talking, Daniel.
Then that takes away Camden Putts' whole game.
No, he hits some threes out there.
Caden O'Neill's going to drive forward just short of that 25-yard line for a nice little modest gain for the Cavemen. 4 yards gain.
You don't get a lot more exciting games than what we've had so far here, Daniel.
Not at all. I mean, you're somebody, especially who really likes the scoring, and that's the popular opinion.
Yeah. It's the right opinion, but go on.
Well, all right. What takes away the whole word of opinion? But anyway, that's a good one there. Okay. Run off the middle, short gain, pass to 25. He's going to be marked right there at the 29-yard line, they'll say. So just short of that first down. No, yeah, so we really have had quite the exciting game. A lot of scoring. Both teams have walked off the field, both offensive, rather, with some points on the board. So that's nice.
Yeah, and this is where the Cavemen are going to have to be a little bit creative, trying to get some yards there. Is that they're going to get the first down, but your clock's running. You got 3 minutes now. You want to try to score before the end of the quarter, before the end of the half.
We got something interesting here, Mr. Randall. We've got a number 36 at wide receiver. That's Corin Shepley. And wonder
I saw that.
If something's going on with either Anderson Cannon or Maddox Coonley.
Well, and they like him on the practice squad. They love his work ethic, so maybe he's just getting some touches.
There you go.
What a juke.
Landon Snyder, juking defenders left and right. He's not going to get a lot there, but he shows a little bit of what he's capable of there in that game, too.
Yeah, and that's just a really good run there. Yes, you only got 3 yards, or 2 yards. You could have lost yards on that play. You know, you're in the backfield. Somebody's got you kind of dead to rights there, and you're able to get out of it.
Landon Snyder under center. And he's going to hand it up the middle. The Caden O'Neill is going to break another tackle and dive forward with one attached to his hip. And he is going to get that first down and move the chains. They'll mark him at that 43-yard line. Caden O'Neill is just like one of those guys that we talked to Coach Kaler about this with Reese Brevard. He's got such a strong lower half that he's so difficult to take down. If you try to wrap him up at the hips, he'll just take you along for the ride.
Brevard, he compared him. He said Brevard, he said Caden O'Neill, they just have it.
Huge here, passing attempt for the Cavemen. Landon Snyder rolling out to his right, and he's going to complete that pass. Colin Hanley makes the catch in enemy territory at the Concord 40-yard line.
Nope, they're going to call it.
Flag on the field, and is that an illegal man downfield?
And that's too bad. That comes with the scramble. You get into scramble mode. So some of those offensive linemen see guys down the field, and they go down the field. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if we saw a replay of that, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was an illegal man downfield. That becomes hard with the scramble.
That is tough. It's going to erase that that electrifying passing play there. But again, it's showing what Landon Snyder's capable of. He's able to make those passes and avoid pressure.
Yes, we had that question about, he's not a traditional quarterback as we know. They run this kind of offense, but right there he's proven he can make some of the throws.
That's right. He must have heard you in that classroom
telling
one
you.
day. Handed up the middle.
The haters
Caden
are
O'Neal
real.
getting space. And he's going to get wrapped up by the ankles, but he's going to dive forward to that Concord 45. Just like that, the play after, they will make their way back into enemy territory, the Concord 45. Clock's rolling.
Yeah, that's a big first down, though.
So they want to keep things moving, but they're in good shot. They're in good shape.
They're on the positive side of the field right now, right? They're in enemy territory. Yeah, you only got a minute 31, as the Cavemen call a timeout, but you only got one left. They used one early, so I think that's their second timeout. So we'll see what the Cavemen can do coming out of the break.
3-yard gain there, 131 as we go into it. Score is still 21-17. Make sure you stick with us here on the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
And welcome back here to Still Stadium. We're going to kick it right off to Isaiah Eggleston. He's got some score updates for you.
Northwood is up against Wawasee 14-7. Fairfield is just now tied it up against Jimtown 14-14. And South Bend St. Joe is tied up against New Prairie 7-7.
And here we go. On to some Cayman football. Landon Snyder's going to keep it himself. Pitch it off to Carson Francis, who's going to shake some guys off his leg for a modest gain and move the chains.
Yeah, but 7 yards and out of bounds is huge. I mean, you're 125. You can get 7 yards out of bounds. You can do that the rest of the field, right? So I'm sure Concord's thinking about those outside runs right now, trying to defend the sidelines, but then it frees you up in the middle. So you got to be careful. There's enough time where you can kind of do a couple different things.
And this is when it comes into play. This is why Coach Kelly was like, man, that triple option, it drives me nuts. Hand it up the middle. Caden O'Neal stumbling forward past the 30. Around the 33 is where he'll be brought down.
Yeah, he didn't quite have the same sentiment that Coach Reardon had last week when he told Chuck Freeby that he should be illegal, kind of as a joke. But he was very clear he doesn't like it.
Yeah, some nervous laughing going on in that conversation. Hand up the middle, handoff up the middle, Carson Francis gets past the 20-yard line, moves the change again. Clock still rolling, under a minute remaining. It'll stop until those markers are set. That's a big run there. I mean, Carson Francis got back-to-back explosive runs for the Cayman offense. 50 seconds on the clock here. They're going to give it to him again. Carson Francis, he's going to get stopped early on, maybe gained a yard or two.
Well, and they were trying to get to that border, right? They're trying to get to that sideline. They didn't quite get there, so that clock's going to run. They're going to need to hurry.
Looking at the wristband now, trying to get the play off as soon as they can. Some motion here, and Landon Snyder's going to keep it himself, get shifty, making guys miss, moving forward towards that 5 inside, and he's brought down at the 4. Landon Snyder, huge play, but they got to get moving unless they want to call that timeout.
Well, the clock's not running yet. And the ref is telling the coaches they got to back up. There's the clock, Ruben. There it goes. So I think they're going to try to just spike it here, maybe.
Okay, let's see it.
Nope.
No, they'll run it forward, and Landon Snyder is going to get himself in the end zone, his second trip of the game. Wow, Landon Snyder making some moves here. Third trip of the game. 23-21 is now your score with 12 seconds remaining. Big play for the Cavemen with seconds trickling down.
Yeah, huge drive for the Cavemen. You're kicking off, starts second half. You can hopefully, I mean, there's still 12 seconds left, but you got to go into halftime with the lead because you know you're giving the ball to an offense that hasn't been stopped today.
That's right. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns for the Minutemen. Some lengthy drives for the Cavemen. They've definitely won this time of possession battle here. And that point after, you can count it. 24-21 with 12 seconds remaining here. Concord Minutemen trail just by 3, but they've had 3 very, very good drives over and over and over.
Yep.
Let's see if they can repeat that here going into the 4th one. So for now, we will keep things here with only 12 seconds remaining. Let's see how the Minutemen respond. They've got very, very little time.
Right.
What do you foresee them doing here after this kickoff return?
Yeah, I mean, number one, if you're the Cavemen, you cannot give it to Brevard. Like, you can't. Like, that can't happen. So a short kick, onside type of kick would be my guess. But then the second part is if you're Concord, you get the ball back. I assume you do have 3 timeouts, but you only got 12 seconds. You're probably going to kneel this one out, try to go into halftime saying, we get the ball back, they can't stop us, see what we can do in the second half.
100%. Now, I believe that the risk is not greater than the reward here.
Right.
I think.
Okay. But if I get Brevard open in space.
Okay, then yeah. Okay.
Right? Like,
then,
this is the problem. If you're Coach Kaler, maybe you say, hey, maybe I do a jet sweep here, see what I got, right?
Maybe you test the waters
Right.
a little bit. I don't see why not. But this all will be kind of, determined on whether this kickoff is a little squib kick, kind of onside looking
Well, look,
thing.
they're kind of heavy to the far side right now. Looked like Blake Vandenberg was getting the call from Drew Ginter there. You don't see that a lot. You don't see the calls on the kickoff very much.
No, you don't.
But you can tell they're I don't want to say a football team's scared, but you're definitely scared of Brevard back there with the ball.
Yeah. So they will have this little onside kick look. The hands team doesn't secure it initially. But let's see. They'll say
Oh, they're going to give it to
it'll
Concord.
remain with Concord, yep. So that
I mean, that takes a couple seconds
little
off the
scary
clock,
there, yeah.
and now you just say, okay. I mean, you're at the 47.
it's not a bad place to be. Very, very good starting field position for the Concord Minutemen here. I mean, you know what? If I'm Coach Kaler and
And I don't know. We didn't talk about kicking game and stuff. I mean, last year we had one. I mean, Northwood had one of the best kickers in the country. He's kicking as a freshman in college right now.
Yep.
So I don't know what they have at Concord, but they're going 5 wide here.
So empty formation. Let's see. They're going to throw this one.
Yep.
And he's got Brevard. Some space, spins, makes another guy miss. And he's going to be brought down just past the 40. They've got 3 timeouts.
And
they'll call one of them, yep.
Yeah, that's they had enough time left on that clock.
I mean, Brevard, this may be a little much, but like the comparison that's coming to my head right now is a little bit of a Jeremiah Smith, somebody that's just based on body type. I mean, you cannot give him any space.
I was kind of thinking Debo Samuel.
Yeah, that we were talking about that this week
yeah.
too. That gadget kind of player.
Get him the ball and he makes plays.
That's what I'm saying. He can line up anywhere in the slot.
And he has
backfield.
a similar body type.
He
Right?
does.
He's fast, but he's got the size to kind of break some tackles. We saw those, highlights of the Elkhart game where he's returning a punt, just running over guys into the end zone. You saw the first play of the game. He's running over a guy, getting a couple extra yards.
So Jeremiah Smith in the sense of you cannot leave him open. Like you can't give him any space. You want extra attention on him. But definitely Debo Samuel as far as the play style and body type too. Let's see if they try to go to Reese Brevard again, the ball stay commit, or if they try something a little different. Gomez was looking good. Oh, maybe they're going to try to kick this here. They are. Wow.
Right now, the ball is laying on the 39. So let's do some math. That puts you at 56.
56 yards. I think that's right.
I'm surprised somebody isn't back. And this is just a safe, big kick.
Huge kick.
Just short.
That's just short.
Just short. What a kick, though.
That was nice. That was close there, but to end the half, it's going to be 24-21 when it's all said and done. So the Cavemen got a lot to feel good about going in that locker room, except for that first drive, settling with a field goal. But other than that, they've gone 3 straight drives, ended up in the end zone. So a lot of good things happening here. And we've got the band coming up.
Yeah, we're going to start with band, dance, color guard, senior night, so you're going to see that on your screen. We're going to play our band hype video. Band's going to perform. Dance team, 2 dances. Lots going on.
It's going to be a lot. So band, dance team, and more coming up. And we'll have those score updates coming in for you as well. We've got a lengthy halftime, but that's all you're going to hear from myself for quite some time. Till that start of the third quarter, maybe a few minutes prior. But we'll be back again. Score 24-21. We're going to kick things off to Holly Shine and the band, color guard, and dance team.
These are great energy right now atmosphere. Many of these students have put in 4 years of dedication to HSS. We thank you for all your time, enthusiasm, leadership, and dedication. First up, Landon Adams. Escorted by Daniel and Harry Adams. Landon plans to study media and filmmaking at Boston University. Maggie Bradford, escorted by AJ and Kendra Bradford. Maggie plans to attend Concord University to study clarinet performance and music education. Bryce Burris, escorted by Curtis Hardy, Amy Burris, and Tiffany Hardy. Bryce plans to attend IU Bloomington. He also wants to attend flight school to become a commercial airline captain. Francis Conley, escorted by Dean Stevens and Thomas Conley. Francis plans to attend Bethel University to receive a bachelor's in biology and later go to graduate school for medical engineering. Ethan Gloucester, escorted by James and Judah Gloucester. Ethan would like to attend Harvard University to major in accounting and minor in statistical science. Mackenzie Finn, escorted by Brendan Finn, Brittany Swihart, and Melanie Fish. Mackenzie would like to adopt doctors of pediatrics or labor and delivery. Mason Green, escorted by Travis, Kelly, and Liam Green, and Alex Zavala. Mason plans to study mechanical engineering at Purdue University. Isaac Greer, escorted by Elizabeth Disley, Martin Greer, and Cameron Greer. Isaac plans to attend IU to continue studying in the IT field and also join the IU swim team. Malcolm Hans, escorted by Rachel Frettenberg. Malcolm would like to study music at IU Bloomington. Doug Hill, escorted by Stephen and Sheldon Hill. Doug would like to attend flight school and also IU Bloomington and major in finance. Harper Johnson, escorted by Ryan, Melissa, and Rebel Johnson. Alex King, escorted by Robert and Allison King. Alex would like to study finance at IU Bloomington. Vincent Lopez, escorted by Michael and Robin Rudo. Vincent would like to study strategic management at the University of Notre Dame and pursue a doctoral degree at Indiana University. Emma McAdam, escorted by Nathan McAdam. Emma would like to study dental hygiene at Ivy Tech. Christopher Modlin, escorted by Matt and Stephanie Modlin. Christopher plans to attend Purdue University to study electrical engineering. Carrie Pontius, escorted by Amanda Bennett, Aaron Moore, and James Bennett. Carrie plans to attend Purdue Polytechnic to become an electrical engineering technician. Dylan Reed, escorted by Larry and Michelle Cohen. Dylan plans to earn a CDL and become a semi-truck driver. Alex Rhodes, escorted by Ryan and Christina Rhodes. You got a couple new ones. Adrian Seifert, escorted by Julie Seifert. Adrian plans to study early education. And Ryan Schaefer, escorted by Anthony Schaefer and Ryan to start learning Salon and become a traveling cosmetologist and esthetician. Air Force. Sir Ryan Smith, escorted by Troy Scott and Jalen Sims. Troy plans to major in sociology and minor in psychology to become a social worker and hopefully continue color guard. Riley Sproles, escorted by Joseph and Stephanie Sproles and Dan and Dana Sproles. Riley plans to attend Purdue University to study biology. Jacob Stevens, escorted by Andrea and Brittany Stevens. Jacob plans to attend Ball State to study music education and composition. Brooke Way, escorted by Scott, Nancy, and Jackson Way. Brooke plans to attend United States Coast Guard Academy and become an officer.
Get ready for band hype videos.
Local White, escorted by Don Hasty.
Okay, get ready for band. He's gonna do a
Please give one more awesome round of applause. The marching band back with their half-time show hits the 80s. Tonight we'll get started with Don't You Forget About Me. Followed by 99 Red Balloons. Marching band, take the field.
Next up is the Mishawaka High School dance team. I'll let you know, okay? Let them get set. Get it. Okay, let's do it.
It's time for the Commissioner's Corner, an exclusive weekly conversation about Indiana high school sports with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. Now for an up-to-the-minute report about what's happening in the constantly changing world of high school sports. Here's Coach Bob Lovell with Commissioner Paul Neidig.
Welcome back, everyone, to our weekly conversation with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. And Commissioner, hope you and your family had a great weekend this past weekend over Labor Day.
Yeah, it was a great weekend, Coach. And, you know, it's always a great time to hang out with family, and that's what we were able to do. You know, we've got some grandkids now and got to enjoy them, and, you know, and just really sit back and think about the time, where we're at in this great state. Certainly, Labor Day is a holiday to celebrate by many, and the people who work hard, and you know that goes for our coaches and everybody else that's in the school environment. They're out there working hard in an ever-changing environment to support the student athletes, and not only student athletes but all students in this state. And so appreciative of the people who choose to do their work in the eye of the public. Sometimes it comes with unfair criticisms towards what they do. But my experience as educators always have a pure heart when it comes to wanting to help kids. And so certainly want to thank all of our folks who work with our student athletes.
Well said. I think one of the things that doesn't change about the environment is that this time of year, there's a whole lot of great competition going on. And before we know it, girls golf will start the fall sports championship schedule on the 18th and 19th of September, which is right around the corner.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to believe, but girls golf kicks off our championship season, and we're ready to go. Chris Kaufman here in the office oversees girls golf, and Chris does a phenomenal job. And, you know, it seems like we talk about this every year, Coach, but it's always worth celebrating. There's just a level of talent that we have in this state. You know, we've got people that, we've got students that are out there playing golf that'll become recreational golfers the rest of their life, but that's after a stop in the collegiate scene. And we have many girls that are out there going to be playing collegiately in the future in golf, and it's just such a great opportunity to celebrate them. And, you know, Prairie View Golf Course right here in Carmel, Indiana is where we're going to celebrate the state championship. And, again, phenomenal course, phenomenal people to work with, and it's just they embody who we get to work with on an annual basis that helps us celebrate these student athletes in an appropriate way.
Well, we're at week 3 in the high school football season as we anticipate that girls golf championship, and we've had tremendous weather. I'm sure that you should be credited with that. You know, if we're going to blame you for things that go wrong, we might as well give you credit for having the weather being good. So thank you for all that. I hope you have another great weekend coming up, because parity in football, I think, kind of mirrors parity around the state in most of our sports. This is just starting off to be a tremendous athletic year.
Yeah, it does, Coach, and we, certainly appreciate the kudos on the weather. But as I've said before, I put a call into Mother Nature on Friday nights, and she, to this day, she still hadn't picked up my phone call. So, but anyway, it's great. But we've been fortunate that the heat left us to the oppressive humidity, and so we've been able to operate in relatively comfort as far as weather the last couple of weeks. And, this is shaping up to be one heck of a football year. I mean, we've got a lot of really talented teams, and anytime that we have parity where, it's a highly competitive event, every time teams meet on the old gridiron, it's good for the sport. And, we want to continue to make sure that we support. And one thing we always know is the time-honored tradition of playing for your community is still important. And, we want to make sure that we always protect that opportunity to grow up in a community and represent your town or your school. And it's really a few short years, 4 years at the most.
He's the commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. This is our weekly conversations about all things pertaining to the IHSAA. Commissioner, as always, thank you so much for your time. Have a fantastic weekend.
Thanks, Coach, and you have a great week. And tune in to Coach's show on Friday and Saturday night because it's all things high school sports and more.
Well, you're very kind. I appreciate the help. Thanks so much.
Thanks for listening to The Commissioner's Corner with IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig and Coach Bob Lovell. And thank you for your continued support of the high schools in your community.
Welcome back to Steel Stadium. Matt Rendell here. Isaiah Eggleston, Daniel Phillips will be back here to call the game. Isaiah, let's go some score updates. What do we got?
We got Northwood leading over Wawasee 14-7. Northridge and Plymouth tied at 7. Warsaw and Goshen up. Warsaw's up 34-0.
Yeah.
That's a wipeout.
Yeah,
there.
big blowout.
Penn is up against Riley 21-6. Marion is up against South Bend Adams 14-0. Elkhart is up 6-0 over South Bend Washington. Fairfield is up against, Jimtown is up against Fairfield 21-14. And South Bend St. Joe is up against New Prairie 21-7.
Yeah, a lot of surprising scores. Daniel and I worked this week on some of these teams. We've seen some of these teams. New Prairie's kind of a little bit of a down year. Jimtown up on Fairfield. Fairfield's had a good season. Warsaw obviously blowing out Goshen. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Honestly, most surprising, Daniel, might be the Elkhart 6-0 lead over Washington.
Yeah,
I'm very surprised with that.
Yeah, Elkhart's usually got a really good program. Washington has been kind of at the bottom of the NIC. Isaiah, we're ready to kick off here. What are some things the Cavemen did really well in that first half?
I mean, they really ran the ball really good.
Yeah, big time.
And they didn't really cause too many penalties.
Yeah, they're going to need to clean up a few things, but overall, good game. We'll be back with Isaiah here in just a little bit, update some more scores. Daniel, take us off in the second half.
Second half is now underway, and we start off with a little bit of fireworks, a little bit of an electric return there past the 25. Not bad starting field position for the Minutemen. Guess I'm surprised to say who ran that one there. Number 3, that was Mark Herman. He made a huge reception early on in that first or second drive there for the Minutemen offense and making some plays there.
Yeah,
Special
man,
teams.
we got a good setup. Really good work by the crew here. We got some graphics, some cameras. We've now got a good setup on our kind of monitor here where we can see all the cameras. Just a nice little setup here as we get ready to go in the second half.
Very excited for it. Surprising enough, they say that return took 8 seconds. So
Yeah.
11:52 is now on the clock. Bo Brunner and company had a very, very good first half. Let's see if they can keep that going. Nice little pass over to Gomez. Leaps over Amesy Roos and will get taken down just past 35-yard line.
You got to be careful on those leaps, jumping over people.
And look,
a little bit of a no-no in high school football.
Right.
But he's on the ground, right? If the guy's on the ground, you're good.
Also for Gomez, a big playmaker. Now, that wasn't really something that's, could injure a player, but Jeremiah Love, he was doing
we
that.
talked about that, yeah.
Sunday night, and
Yep.
I was like, we got to stop spamming
Yeah.
triangle. I mean, we can't keep hurdling like this.
Well, and right, spamming triangle. Right now, Caveman trying to get a stop here, but shout out, we saw Drew Mason today came in, and shout out to Drew. He's working out William Penn, doing some good work there, but he talked about Chase Ketter's hurdle against the Cavemen in the playoffs.
And that one is a huge stop for the Cavemen. I mean, just a big tackle there. Let's go ahead and look at this replay. That was Tristan Garcia getting it done.
Just blowing up
And I
that
mean, just-
play.
That's
And it's
huge.
even more impressive because who it's against.
Right. That's a very, very good ball carrier there.
This might be the first third and kind of medium the Cavemen have really gotten. And they did have the one that they completed the pass on, but they haven't really stopped the Minutemen into third down, and now they got a chance to try to get a turnover on downs here with third and semi-long.
Let's see if they can get it done here. Rolling out to his left. Got some pressure. Camden Butts. Huge sack there in the backfield showing who's boss. Camden Putz just storms in that backfield like the offensive line doesn't exist and makes a huge play, huge loss.
Yeah, I mean, he went right around number 77. That's Arnold, and he didn't stand a chance, really. I mean, when you're one of those offensive linemen, you're trying to block somebody with the speed of Cam Putz, that's not going to go well for you.
And let's not forget to mention that Donovan Arnold is probably one of the most skilled guys on both sides of the line.
Putz is getting a running start. That's impossible. It's a weird punt formation.
Yes, it is. I agree. You got two guys back there just in case. Fair catch, Landon Snyder, be it just past the 45.
Yeah, and that's just getting your hands out there as Brunner punted that, just in case he could throw it.
There you go. So the Cavemen stall the Minutemen for the first time tonight, and that's huge for their defense.
Absolutely.
A lot of confidence now going into
And now we're getting the crowd.
That's right. You're hearing those bells ring.
Got an LOD chant in there.
Oh, yeah. And Chase Camacho, the left tackle for the Cavemen, is now suiting up back on the field
That's
again.
good to see, yeah. One of the things Cavemen have done a good job so far this year is staying pretty healthy. DeVague out tonight, but overall pretty healthy. Honestly, Concord pretty healthy too. Lost one of their better linemen, but overall both teams healthy.
Landon Snyder and the offense back on the field. Caden O'Neill up the middle again. Gets just past midfield. 4-yard gain is nice. Puts him right at the 50.
Yeah, got a guy down right as we talked about being healthy.
It's not what you want. Like to see who that is. And when you got a guy
trying to see who that is.
When you got a guy that's not popping back up, that's not what you want to see.
Trainers out there, Coach Kaler out there. I wonder if that's, we don't want to guess.
So the Cavemen make their way back to the sideline, regroup, and we're going to go ahead and let the trainers handle this. Kick off to the break. Cavemen, a lot to get done here on the offensive side after that gain there. 24-21, 9-19 on the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Come and visit the Mishawaka Historical Museum and make sure to check out all of their different exhibits, such as their industries and businesses, church and faith, historic landmarks, military heritage, school, and their famous Mishawakans exhibit, including some of our very own Caveman alumni, as well as a working model train set and a brand new exhibit, Treasures from our collection. Located at 121 South Main Street, doors are open every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. $5 for entry for adults, $3 for students, and kids under 5 enter for free.
Welcome back, folks. We got some news on who that injured player was. That was senior D tackle Jacob Buss. He got himself up and off the field, walked to the sideline as Caden O'Neill shoots up the middle for the first down.
Yeah, good run there by O'Neill to come out of that injury break, give the Cavemen a first down.
And you know what? They keep this ball rolling. They kind of capitalize on the missed opportunity for the opening drive of the second half of the Concord Minutemen. You know, if they can go up by 2 scores, that'd be really, really nice for them. Landon Snyder, he's going to hand it up the middle, hand it off the middle.
Caden O'Neill is pretty much at the safeties by the time he goes down, and that's just Will. He's hitting the line, and then he almost just dove forward for a couple extra yards to get yardage out of that.
3 yards there, so 2nd and 7. $8:40 remaining here. And the Cavemen off to a pretty good start. You know, Caden O'Neill, he's just, you can't stop him up the middle. And he's going to go up again and get loose. just saying they couldn't stop him, and boy, was it true. Caden O'Neal up the middle for a Caveman touchdown.
And that's just shot out of cannon, right? Like, that's just hitting that hole right up the middle. And right there, you see him. I mean, nobody touches him. And it's very rare that the fullback on Mishawaka doesn't get touched up the middle.
That's so huge for the Caveman offense. They now go up 30-21. Let's hope they get this point after. Then they're up by 10, and that's a really good position to be in if you're the Mishawaka Cavemen. Ginner's there at holder. Blake Vandenberg perfect so far. And he will keep that streak going. That one is straight and through the uprights. The Cavemen lead by 10. Score 31-21, 8:22 remaining in this third quarter. Cavemen in great shape here on the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back to Steel Stadium, where we have for you some Friday Night Lights, and now we're going to kick it off to Isaiah Eggleston. Hear about a different type of Friday Night Lights. What we got, Isaiah?
Kansas City and the Chiefs and the Chargers facing up.
Yep.
With 2:53 left in the first quarter. It's 2nd and 10 Chargers, and they're up 7-0 over the Chiefs. They have the ball on their own 44.
Yeah, that is a rare Friday night NFL game.
Herman got some room outside left, pushed out of bounds for crossing the 35. So that's pretty huge there.
Yeah, big run there. And it wasn't Brevard this time, but it's still a good return.
So we come off of a huge electric run. Oh, we got a flag on the field.
Yeah, I think that looked like, I want to say, I know it was Cam Putz for the Cavemen. And it looked, yeah, right there. You see it at the bottom of your screen. And that's number 20 for Concord. That's a Nicholas Johnson. So I wonder what they're going to get. You saw it at the bottom of that replay.
Maybe holding, maybe unnecessary roughness. We'll see.
It looks like they're going to mark it off. Yeah, I think it's Putz there. Yeah, that's a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, so they're going to call.
Yeah, we're going to see it again real fast. You'll see it right at the bottom of your screen here, as right about there. Putz kind of grabs him, throws him to the ground. Must probably said something there, so that's going to be a 15-yard penalty on the Cavemen.
Now what you want, hand up the middle. And wow, Brevard's just going to carry some guys with him past that first down marker.
Yeah, and there's some pushing and shoving at the end there, but Brevard, I mean, that's a talent you don't teach. That's a talent you have and you work for. That's what Coach Kaler said. It's not just that he has that kind of innate talent. He worked this summer, right? He got in the weight room, got his speed up, especially what did he say, that long speed, right? Getting out, hitting those open field. He was always good in the box, that 10v10.
Got another handoff. That's going to go to the left side. And he's going to hold on to it. It's going to be a 1-yard gain there at the 40.
Yeah, really good tackle there by Cam Putz, getting him to the ground.
So the Minutemen get something. They don't. It's not a no gain situation. It's not a loss situation. So
right.
It's a positive play and all. A little under 7:30 remaining in this third quarter. Let's see what they
Yeah, but the
bring
big
here.
plays have been Concord's go-to today. And so if you can limit those, if you're the Cavemen defense, you've got a 10-point lead here in the third quarter.
Let's see the Minutemen bring to the table here. And run up the middle here. Brevard's going to cut out to the outside. He's got some room, breaks a tackle, makes another guy miss. Stutters his feet a little bit, and he's going to get crowded by Cayman defenders, pushed out just before the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and that's just, honestly, Walker On didn't make the tackle, but he slowed him up a little bit at least, and the Cavemen were able to get there to make the tackle, but it took 6 of them.
Yeah, maybe 7 of them, but that was a tough run there by Brevard. I mean, he's just working. I mean, he's spinning out of tackles, and wow. I mean,
yeah,
it's a crazy run.
Yeah,
and he's had a few of them today.
Hear the crowd saying, "Wake up, defense!" There, right? They got to stop though to start the second half. That was huge. So we'll see if they can get another one.
Up the middle, Gomez is going to break a tackle, stumble forward, just past the 25 here.
I mean, Gomez has ran the ball very well today too. All the talk, and rightly so. Brevard's had a huge game. One of the best runs I've ever seen, scoring that touchdown earlier here at Steel Stadium. But Gomez has looked good today too.
He has. He caught a few, and he's made some plays.
Yeah.
So correction on that one, it was from the 24 to the 23. So a gain of 1, 25-yard line, not much to do with it. But they're in good shape. The Minutemen trying to keep the charge going. 2nd and 9. And looks like Brunner's going to keep it himself. Run towards the 20, get pushed out of bounds just before for a gain of a few.
Yeah, good job by the Cavemen not giving up too many yards on that and then force a 3rd down. That's what they did earlier and got the stop.
So Cayman defense making a stand. They must have heard the crowd say it to wake up, and they're making sure that the crowd knows that they are conscious.
Yeah, he didn't get anything on that run.
Good stuff. I thought he at least got 2.
I did too, yeah. Well, it's one of those, when Mishawaka gets the outside, they're going to get 2 or 3 yards. When you're in the shotgun, you got to get 3 yards to get to the line of scrimmage.
That's right. Brunner's going to try to run it again, make a pass. Outside shoulder, Gomez couldn't make it. That's a tough ball.
Yeah, it's a hard throw, hard catch, and the Cavemen were right there. And really, what really hurt Concord is he kind of rolled out to the right side. I think he had a chance on the far side there. Brevard was running just a simple out and one-on-one. And if you can get him the ball, I think you hope he can make a move, make one guy miss. But he just wasn't able to do it because he got rolled out to the wrong side.
And that's what happens. You try to make that throw across your body, it's usually not going to work out very well.
And you don't see this very often. I didn't notice this in the first field goal, that 56-yarder, but Brevard's the holder on these field goals, and that's kind of scary.
I agree.
What do we got here on this one? 40?
Just barely. That one's
what
up.
A kick. I think it's wide, though.
It's going to be wide left. No good on the kick. So, turnover on downs. The Minutemen leave the field empty-handed. Not what you want. Down 10 still, and the Cavemen get the ball back off that big stop there, and also that Caden O'Neill run that wasn't that long ago.
No, yeah, I mean, they get the ball back. That kick was long enough. It was definitely long enough, just wide left there, and now the Cavemen will be able to take over with the 10-point lead. Isaiah, we had a few updates on scores. I know we had Elkhart, we had Northwood, Northridge. Let's get a few score updates here.
So Northwood and Wawasee, Northwood leading Wawasee 22-7 right now. And then we got Northridge.
I think that's 21, yeah.
Northridge is leading Plymouth 21-7. And then we got Elkhart leading 20-7 over South Bend, Washington.
Yeah, some big games there tonight. Probably the closest game is that Fairfield game. Fairfield leading Jimtown right now 22-21. So a couple games that Isaiah will update us on here as we wind down here in the third quarter.
The NFL one is very, very unconventional there. It's not what you see very often.
The Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of the country, too.
Yeah, international game.
Yeah.
Big run from Caden O'Neal. Modest yardage. He's going to run it up the middle again.
You got to interrupt. I didn't even know we ran a play. You got to interrupt us next time, Daniel.
You know what? Isaiah's an important part
That's
of the
true.
team.
You know what? That's
Gotta
fair.
let him talk.
That's fair.
2 yards
Way to be a
gain
good
there.
teammate, man.
Yeah, look at that. So 2 yards on that one. 3rd and 3. Just under the 4-minute mark. Awaiting the call from the sideline. The Cavemen, you know, they time is kind of on their side, you know, and the crowd is getting into it, and cheerleaders, you're hearing them. They're pounding the rock, and that's a big stop there.
Yeah, that was 3rd
Snyder
down.
Kept it, and I mean, they just got him in the backfield. He didn't have any time to even think about what was happening there.
Actually, they're going to say he gained a yard.
Oh, wow, okay.
And now you're thinking, do you punt it or not? You're at your own 29, maybe?
No way he gained it. I don't know what I was seeing.
Well, you know, I think you saw Carson Francis got hit behind the line. I think it might have been him, and then they pushed Snyder back. They might try to get an offsides here. Yeah, there it is. It was right there.
Got it. Hey, wow, no flag thrown. I saw somebody jump.
Yeah.
That interior D-line. They're running anyway, diving forward.
I don't think he made it.
I think he's short.
They needed to get to the 30, and I think the ball, if he reaches out, he might have had it, but I think he had the ball down by his side, and they're going to say Concord ball.
Tough break for the Cavemen.
Yeah. 3
and out there. Now what you want, turnover on down, so now Concord gets it in not as good, but pretty good field position.
And I know, you know, we love to second-guess coaches. I like the call. I like trying to get that first down. You can milk a lot more clock. Your offense has been almost unstoppable tonight. Yeah, you didn't get it there, but I think it's a good call to try to run that ball there.
And, I mean, we look at analytics. I know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever really a bad thing to go for it. 4th and 3 in.
And, I mean, you're half a yard from getting that.
Right. Throw from Runner, and he's going to complete it to Gomez, stumbling forward, past the 15. Nice little gain there.
Yeah, absolutely.
15 yards or
It was
so.
a good pass. It was a good read. He saw his man open there in the middle, hit him in stride, and you're able to get a few extra yards out of that.
Gomez has been somebody who has made an impact not only in the air, but on the ground as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to have those people on your team, you know. We talked at the Marion game about some of those players. You know, sometimes you have, quarterbacks and wide receivers, but sometimes you just have football players.
Runner takes the snap, hands it off to Brevard, who's going to try to get outside. He's got room, and he'll be pushed out of bounds inside the 5.
Yeah, just short of the goal line, but that time he didn't have to make spectacular spins or break any tackles. The line just opened up an alley there on the outside. He's able to scoot forward, make it 1st and goal.
Now, we haven't mentioned this a lot because obviously it's a new year, but last season it was a very, very close game back in Concord, and the final score was 35-34. Cavemen stormed back from being down by multiple possessions. As we got a flag here, somebody jumped.
They're going to say offsides. I think that's on the Cavemen.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Yep. And so far in the second half, Cavemen have had a few penalties. We talked, they're pretty safe in the first half, but the second half's been a little bit different.
No doubt about it. It's been not really what you want, but they did have that big run from Caden O'Neal. See if they can still try to build off that when their next offensive drive comes around. Brunner and Brevard in pistol. He's going to hand it off up the middle, and he's going to get stuffed by that Caveman defense there. Maybe lose a few. Yeah, they say he lost 2 there. Tristan Garcia gets it done in the backfield amongst others in that Caveman D-line. That's a big stop there for them.
Yeah, they're going to need to get a stop here. Try to keep the momentum on their side.
Brevard outside, cuts back in, leaning for that goal line.
Didn't get there.
But that opposing force from that Caveman defense stops them and forces 3rd down. So they're still inside to 5, obviously.
Yeah,
They
but this
gained a
is,
few.
you know, 3rd and goal. If you're the Cavemen, the clock's still running. You've got the 10-point lead, and you have a chance to make a big, big stop.
So mark them at the 1. Forward progress. 2:15 remaining in the 3rd. Let's see what the Minutemen do. Can the Cavemen stall them, or do they punch one in? Brevard's got it. He's going to cut back inside, and he's in the end zone. The Minutemen strike back. They respond to the Cavemen's 3 and out with a touchdown there.
Yeah, that's just easy there by Brevard. Nobody's touching him until he's in the end zone. Some of that, you saw that motion, that wide receiver motion to the near side. Sometimes that motion just messes you up, and the Cavemen just weren't there in those holes.
And I mean, Brevard, you're on the 1 yard line. I mean, I feel like 8 times out of 10, even against this very good Caveman defense, he's going to get that touchdown.
Yeah.
That kick almost blocked. The PAT will be good. Almost hit the school back there. Looks like maybe we got some score updates, yeah?
Yeah, we're going to take a look here at some score updates. Isaiah's got some for you. I know we got a Penn update, just a quick update on Warsaw. And then let's again hit that Fairfield-Jimtown score. What do we got for Warsaw here?
We got Warsaw leading Goshen 34-0. Penn leading 42-6. That's a blowout. We got Jimtown still leading Fairfield 21-14. Fairfield leading Jimtown 22-21.
Yeah, big game over there out in Goshen. Fairfield's got, over in Elkhart with Jimtown. Fairfield's got a good team this year, and Jimtown's always pretty tough, so we'll see how that one ends. But right now, some blowouts with Warsaw and Penn. Some of those we expect a little bit. We're hoping to get some updates on some of these other games here soon as we get closer to the 4th quarter here from Steel Stadium.
2:03 left in this 3rd, and now the Minutemen have made things interesting again. Now it's still interesting, 10-point difference. That's still a close-ish game, but now we got a 3-point difference.
And Concord's not. Every year with Concord, it's this close game. It's a back and forth, and Concord's had this a lot. Warsaw last year, they lost in the last, 30 seconds against Warsaw, who ended up going to the state finals. Just lots of good things here for Concord. You went down 10, but now you cut it to 3, and you got plenty of time. 2 minutes in the 3rd quarter, a whole 4th quarter left, and so lots of things to be kind of impressed about if you are the Coach Kaler and the Concord Minutemen.
All right. You know what? Getting this win over Mishawaka will be so huge for them and their confidence. They haven't won a sectional since 2018. So maybe they're trying to get the ball rolling here. Huge return start from Dean, but there's going to be a flag thrown, and we'll see what that is. I'm assuming probably something of holding. Maybe a block in the back. We'll have to see. I believe probably holding.
Yep.
And they'll call it on the receiving team, so they'll back up the Cavemen.
We haven't talked much about the officials tonight. That's usually a good sign. Right? If you're not talking about the officials, they're doing a good job, and they've gotten us calls quickly tonight. So thanks to those officials. It's always the worst job on a Friday night, in my opinion. They get ridiculed but never get thanked. So we want to thank them for coming out and doing a good job here tonight.
Big thanks to this officiating team. Can't run a football game without them. So that'll move the Cavemen back, as we said, a lot more than they would like. So they're on their own 12-yard line. They had the 3 and out last drive. They've got some statements to make here. They've got to, raise their spirits here on this side of the ball.
Yeah.
They're going to hand it off up the middle. Caden O'Neill gets
Still
back
up
on his feet past the 20-yard line. I mean, you just got a strong lower half like that. I mean, it's pretty hard to stop there. So big run for Caden O'Neill to start the drive. First down, even after being backed up the way they were. So great job by the Cavemen there. Caden O'Neill, they're going to give it to him again up the middle. Not as great of a result there, but still a positive result nonetheless. 2 yards gained there, brings them to their own 25-yard line. $1:25 remaining in this third quarter, so we'll head to a break. We'll probably get some score updates as well. Landon Snyder going to work, and he'll keep that himself, and he'll run up the middle a little bit for a few.
There's not much there as Snyder doesn't get a lot, and now you're in this third and pretty long.
So once you get, beyond 3rd and 5, this is where things get a little tricky. This is where your back's up against the wall a little bit, and you're forced to make a play. Let's see what they draw up here. Coach Kyle Shaw's pretty good at running offense. Let's see what he goes with here. Outside, Landon Snyder keeping himself cut back, trying to dive for that 30-yard line at least, but he is short.
And that's now you got 4th and very long, and we'll see what happens here for the Cavemen.
I mean, this is just not what you want. You have that explosive first down from Caden O'Neill. You want to build off that. And you've got a series of, average gains. Then you've got that try there. You only get one on that one. That's not where you want to be.
And you're 4th and 5. They're going to run this down as we're going to end the third quarter. But a big decision here for the Cavemen out of the third quarter break.
Let's see what they do. Do we have any score updates? No, we're going to go ahead and kick it off to a break. 31-28. And when we come back, we'll see what happens here. And we'll get some score updates from Isaiah Eggleston as well. We'll see what the Cavemen do here. 31-28. We'll be back for the start of the fourth quarter here on the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back, folks, here. Friday Night Lights on the Mishawaka Network. We're going to kick it right off to Isaiah Eggleston. He's got some score updates for you folks.
Northwood and Wawasee. Northwood's leading 30-7 over Wawasee. Northridge and Plymouth, they're tied at 21. Warsaw and Goshen. Warsaw 34-0.
Okay, thanks, Isaiah. And Blake Vandenberg's going to punt this
Huge
one
punt.
away.
Ooh, could hit somebody. Ooh, that was dangerous.
It was. And he's had a series of good punts this whole season. Isaiah, you got one more for us, or a few more.
Penn and Riley, 42-6, Penn leading. 14-0 Marion against South Penn Adams. 20-7 against Elkhart and South Bend, Washington. Fairfield, Jimtown. Fairfield still taking a 1-point lead, 22-21. And South Bend St. Joe, 21-7 over New Prairie. Then we got our other Friday night game on YouTube. Kansas City and Chargers. Chargers are leading 10-0.
All right.
Big game there.
Yes, it is. Thank you very much, Isaiah. Brunner's going to run to the outside. It's like for no gain. He's going to run into that first down and line of scrimmage marker.
Yeah, really nothing there. It's what's so hard about some of those kind of zone, those keepers, those kind of shotgun runs. It's like you can feel like you got some yards, but you really didn't. You got to the line of scrimmage. It also lets you see holes a little better, but if you don't get anywhere, you're really getting no yards as he's going to get nothing.
That was a tough one there. It's 2nd and long now, no gain. They want something positive to kickstart this drive. And you know what? Brunner's had some plays, and so have a number of guys on this offense. Gonna hand it off to Brevard. Speaking of guys who've made big plays, gonna get just past the 35 for a few, maybe a gain of 3 or 4. So it's a gain of 3, 3rd and 7. Not exactly manageable there.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty long, but you've seen Concord with some success through the air. They've got Brevard, who's just amazing talent in the backfield. So you got options. The Cavemen have really played well here in the second half on defense. Because you gave them a touchdown, but that was short field.
And we got some motion here from Herman. Brunner's going to throw it, finds Gomez, and it's complete. That's going to be a first down there. They're going to mark him at that 45.
Well, that's a first down, but that's kind of finding the sticks. Gomez kind of ran that hitch route there, sat down, caught the ball, and said, you know what, I'm going to get this first down, and he just leaned backwards into it.
I'm sure Coach Kaler loved that. It's just good awareness there by Gomez.
Yeah.
Just under 10 minutes, 45. Hand off to Brevard.
Oh,
and they're going to
reverse.
reverse it here. Herman's got it. He's got some space. Left sideline, tiptoeing, and he's going to be pushed out around the Cavemen 35-yard line. That was some nice little trickery there.
Well, and that's a play that, you know, can work because of Brevard, honestly. Like, yeah, it's a good run at the end there, but if Brevard's not that running back, I don't know that he hits that outside. But a good run by Herman there as he got the reverse.
It's a nice little play, and you can tell that they've practiced that, and obviously, like you said, Brevard is a big part in how that play runs, considering how he's especially played in this game, but played his entire high school career. So the fact they executed that the way that they did, it's a big attest to Brevard, but also their practice. So now gun formation. Hand off to Brevard. Inside, cuts outside the left sideline. Gets dragged down. That's definitely a face mask there.
Yeah, that's one of the easier calls you'll have is they just got their hands in there.
You can see if you see a player get dragged down head first, it's usually a face mask there or a horse collar.
Right there, you see it. I wonder if they'll give them the 5, and in most, they don't have the 5 and 15 distinction, but I think in high school they still do. Yeah, they're just getting the 5.
Okay.
Yeah, because he didn't pull him down by it, but you know he definitely grabbed it.
Right.
I think Coach Kaler wants the 15-yarder.
I'm sure.
He's upset on that sideline.
Who wouldn't want the 15-yarder?
Yeah, so that's going to make it 2nd and short.
2nd and 1. Shotgun empty. Brunner steps back, rolls out to his right, looking for
He's got
somebody.
a man open, yeah.
He's got Herman right there, and he's just short of the 20, but that's a nice little gain. We'll give him the first down and a good amount more.
Yeah, it's a good play, and I think he should have got to him faster. I mean, he's right there. You'll see this pass. I mean, he was open that whole time. It's a good play, but, like, maybe you get it to him faster. Maybe you can make a play with it, but it's a good play. I'm not going to.
I mean, he also had a little bit of a pocket to run in.
Yeah, maybe he runs. He's got a blocker, yeah. Yeah, but he's got to get those passing yards. You're a QB. You want the passing yards, right?
Right. That's true. You don't want Mr. Randall saying he's not a QB because he runs the ball, you know?
I'm saying you're in an offense like Concord. You're throwing the ball more. You got to have a little bit more touch on those passes.
Pistol formation here for the Minutemen. And it's going to be a handoff left to Brevard. He's got some space, dragged down by a defensive lineman on the Caveman side, just at the 10-yard line. Apologies, we weren't able to get that entire play to you there. Just some technical difficulties.
We're getting there. There we go.
You know what? Yeah, like you said, we're getting there.
Yeah, this is that 1st and goal from the 9 or 10 right now, and so we'll have to see what the Cavemen do there.
All right, 1st and goal from the 10, Mr. Randall's favorite. Brevard's going to get it up the middle, and
He gets a yard or two. That's a big stop for the Cavemen. If you can keep them at 7, 8, 9 yards as opposed to 4, 5, 3, that'll really help you out in these later downs as you see the Cavemen kind of swarm Brevard there.
I mean, just like with Caden O'Neill, they're there, they're ready for him, but there are some times where there's just not much you can do.
And this is where the Caveman defense really comes on strong usually because you're able to shorten that field. You don't have as much room to work with in those passes, and you can get to the quarterback a little bit.
Okay, Brevard empty. They've been running that a good amount here. And they got a free runner.
Almost got him by the feet.
That was Ainsley Roos, but they're going to fire, and maybe that's called. Let's see. They will call it a touchdown. What a play. Runs out to his right as Ainsley Roos there almost sacks him, but he's going to fire a dart into the end zone. And who is that receiver that caught that? That's Thompson, Chase Thompson, number 13 for the Minutemen. Filling it in there, and nice little touchdown.
Yeah, big play there by Concord. They honestly, since the Cavemen turned it over here on downs and gave up that touchdown, Concord's just been rolling, and right now they've got the momentum. They score, and now they take the lead.
And that's big. Take the lead by 3. Opportunity to go up by 4 now with the PAT. Potter had a series of good kicks here today. They're going to say that's no good.
Yeah, that's far. That's wide left again. He's got the leg. He just hasn't had the accuracy tonight.
It's not what you want. So, score 34-31 is where we will settle. The Cavemen will begin the ball off the kickoff here shortly. 8:59 remaining in this fourth quarter. We'll be back with some more Mishawaka football on the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Come and visit the Mishawaka Historical Museum and make sure to check out all of their different exhibits, such as their industries and businesses, church and faith, historic landmarks, military heritage, school, and their famous Mishawakans exhibit, including some of our very own Caveman alumni, as well as a working model train set and a brand new exhibit, Treasures from our collection. Located at 121 South Main Street, doors are open every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. $5 for entry for adults, $3 for students, and kids under 5 enter for free.
And we're back here. As you can see, Amir Dean working, cutting left and right, making guys miss. Lunges forward just short of that 30. They'll mark him at the 29.
Yeah, it was a lot of cuts, just not a ton of yards. You see him, making guys miss and just doesn't able to get a ton. He's out to the 29. We have a quick final update. Isaiah, what do we have final?
We have the final Warsaw and Goshen game. Warsaw won 37-3 over Goshen.
Love it. Also, it looks like a score update in our NFL game tonight.
Yeah, it's a 10-3 lead for the Los Angeles Chargers in the second quarter with 3:30 left.
Love it.
There we go. Big win for Warsaw. Another triple option team in the NLC. Game will be facing soon. Snyder's going to hand it off up the middle. O'Neal gets past the 30, lunges towards that 33. So gain of 5, they'll call it. 2nd and 5. Put the ball on the 29-yard line. If you're able to get back to that 5 to 6 yards, Caden O'Neill runs up the middle, you'll be in good shape, but they just haven't had that the last 2 drives.
Looks like Concord's going to take a timeout here.
Big timeout for Concord after a big gain. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a break from our voices here for a little bit. 8:11 remaining in this fourth quarter. 34-31 in favor of the Minutemen here on the Mishawaka Network.
got it.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Hello guys, I'm back, Isaiah Eggleston here. And we got 3 new updates. Northwood leading Wawasee 36-7. Marion leading South Bend Adams 21-0. And South Bend St. Joe leading 34-7 over New Prairie.
Thank you, Isaiah.
Yeah, that's a big score. New Prairie usually has a good program, good team. 34-7 lead. St. Joe's having a good year so far.
Yeah, and New Prairie kind of having a little bit of a down
Yeah.
here. Last week didn't fare too well for him either. Run up the middle. Caden O'Neill gets the first down. Marked at the 42. They're lunging towards that enemy territory and trying to get the ball back in the end zone.
Yeah, and I know it's early to say this, but you're talking about 7:40 on the clock right now. Cavemen, if they can get 2, 3, 4 yards of rush, you could run that clock pretty far down.
That's right. I'm sure that's what Coach Kinder and Coach Shaw are thinking right now.
At the very least, give your defense a break.
That's right. And up the middle again, and Caden O'Neill breaking loose. He's down there at that 43, but it's the Concord 43.
What
That's
a run.
Big run.
Yeah, what a run here. He just takes it up the middle, bounces off some guys, and then looks like he's going to go down and says, nope. And that's Brevard there. That's a strong guy himself, and so he just throws him off, gets a few more yards, and now the Cavemen got 1st and 10.
Huge here for the Cavemen. Just under 7-10. Linebackers creeping up on that Concord side. Landon Snyder kind of clearing things up on that line. And he's got some room. Caden O'Neill stumbling. He gets his footing again, leading forward just short inside the 5. Electrifying run.
He looks like he's a little winded there, and I wouldn't be surprised. What a run by Caden O'Neill. Tripped up just a little bit, and that probably gives the chance to the defender. That was Jackson chasing him down. It looked like he might have fell on that ball maybe. I don't think he's hurt. I just think he got the wind knocked out of him. Falling on that ball, I've never played football. I've heard that'll knock the wind out of you.
Can't even imagine there.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't play football, Daniel. I know I look like a football player, but
no way.
oh, tough.
Nah. Mr. Randall was crazy, great band kid.
There you go.
Landon Snyder's going to keep it himself. Hurdle a guy, and he's in the end zone. 6:25. The Cavemen could have done. Snatched that lead from the Minutemen, 37-34.
Yeah, great look here from the ground. As you can see, Snyder just kind of a little hop over. You got to be careful jumping over people, but a good job getting over and into the end zone. Give the Cavemen the lead back, and we are back and forth here at Steel Stadium.
So now Blake Vandenberg trying to make this a 4-point lead. 6:25 is what they'll be getting the ball back with, the Minutemen. See what they do. And that PAT is up and through. 38-34 in favor of the Cavemen. They strike back and snatch the lead. Let's see how the Minutemen respond here on the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Some see a volleyball match. we see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back here, Matt Rendell. Isaiah Eggleston going to get you a quick update. We had a wrong score. He's going to correct us.
Warsaw actually won against Goshen 37-7.
Yeah, we had a 37-3. Stat I just saw from the game, though, Daniel, Warsaw defense held Goshen to negative 29 yards rushing.
Tragic.
That's tough.
Mm-hmm.
That is tough. Goshen will be here at Steel Stadium in 2 weeks for homecoming. We'll talk a little homecoming here when we have a little bit of time.
Oh, squib kick again from Vandenberg, and that one's going to be fielded at the 40. Haynes team made sure to hop on that one.
Yeah, that was a good job. Number 20 there, Nicholas Johnson, was able to just hop on it and said, I'm going to hold this ball, we're going to get it, and we're going to move on.
So, nice little starting field position for the Minutemen. And
quick, we have a second. Homecoming. Goshen will be here in 2 weeks for homecoming. We'll have the homecoming court, all the festivities, homecoming dance on the 20th. If you're a student, parent with a student, tickets are on sale now. You can get those at lunch or after school. $15 cash only.
snap there, fake handoff. He's going to get it there to Thompson, and he's going to get past the 40 for a nice little gain of 2. Mr. Rendell, we had Penn last week that we went to and filmed. Cavemen took on the Kingsman Fell. Final score 28-22. Their quarterback can sling the rock too.
Absolutely,
The runner's been moving that ball.
Yeah, and part of being quarterback in high school is number one, first and foremost, you got to make the right decisions, right? Earlier in the game, he got sacked for a big loss on a 3rd down. Sometimes you can't avoid that, but you got to try to, and he's made a lot of good decisions tonight.
Gonna hand it off to Brevard, who's also made a lot of good decisions. Big plays. Tries to make another one here. Gets to the outside. Taken down out of bounds. Just past the 45.
Yeah, and that's just a good job by the Cavemen. They're stringing that out towards the sideline. You don't want Brevard going up north and south. You want him going east and west, and there they did. Got him to the sideline.
Big stop there. 3rd and 4 for the Minutemen.
Brenner looked like he was kind of wandering towards the sideline as he's getting the play.
Yeah. So, big play for both sides of the ball here. Let's see how they respond. Roaring LOD chants here from the Cavemen crowd. Brevard's got it, and he's wrapped up. I think for a loss. The Cavemen swarm and rally to stop him here on 3rd down. I mean, that's a good initial hit. I think that's Camden Putz. And then the whole Caveman defense nearly just follows him and wraps him up.
Yeah, you're talking 4-26. I think you try to go for it here. That looks like what they're going to do. I don't think, you've only got 2 timeouts if you're Concord. You've got 4th and maybe a short 4 maybe. Timeout, Caveman.
Big timeout there, understandable. And we've got some score updates for you. Isaiah Eggleston, Matt Rendell, what we got?
Yeah, we got a couple updates. Isaiah's going to update us on a final, and we're going to update you on a really close game between Fairfield and Jimtown.
The final of Northwood and Wawasee is Northwood won 36-7, and Fairfield and Jimtown, actually Jimtown retook the lead 29-28 over Fairfield.
And there's a story to that. Jimtown scored a touchdown, went for 2 with 9 seconds to go to take the 1-point lead. So 29-28 there. Gutsy call by Coach Scott Stoner's on the Mishawaka staff. Coach Corey Stoner, who is Scott Stoner's brother over at Jimtown.
Wow.
Look at that. When you live around here and grow up with these people, you know stuff.
Nice little fun fact. We got coaching families all throughout.
Yeah.
Coach Kaler, his brother coaches over at the University of Minnesota, and he had a brother that coached in the NBA for a little bit.
Yeah, coaching families usually turn into that. You hear about the famous one, the Harbaughs and the things like that. But yeah, coaching families.
Caveman coaching staff got 3 of them on the field at one point. 4th and 3, folks. 4:10 remaining in this fourth quarter. This play could determine.
And I watched for Brevard there. He just went motion to the top of your screen.
Slay motion to empty. Brunner's got room. He's going to launch one out deep. And he caught it. Wow, number 18. Wow, that was a huge play for the Concord Minutemen. Tavion Beach reels that one in.
Well, and that was not a prayer. It was a good-looking pass, but he had 2 guys out there.
It looked like he was
defenders.
Looked like he was going for Thompson there and ended up finding the hands of Beach. But you know what? A catch is a catch.
And that's a gutsy throw there on 4th and 4. You're looking underneath, but he goes deep.
It's a big play. Wow, and I mean, you had the LOD chants that have now been quieted, and that's a huge play for the Minutemen there on 4th and 4. How do they follow it here? Now in the red zone. Handed off to Brevard outside. Got an angle, makes Walker Hahn miss.
Big tackle by Drew Ginter there.
Met by that strong safety back there, getting it done. Drew Ginter, the senior, shutting the door on any opportunities there.
Yeah, again, good job getting, kind of stretching that play out to the sidelines. That's what you want if you're the Cavemen.
So now we've got 2nd and goal.
Quick correction, Corey Stoner actually was at Jimtown and moved over to Fairfield, but he's still in that game.
Gotcha. So now I'm sorry, they said they're at their 11-yard line. No, now we got the 10-yard line. Okay, we've got it. So now 2nd and goal. It's 2nd and 6. And we've got a timeout called by Concord. Both teams, the defense and the offense will reach the other side of the field. And we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back with some score updates and that 2nd down for the Minutemen here on the Mishawaka Network.
Forte Waterproofing is celebrating over 60 years of satisfied customers. Experience, innovation, hard work, confidence, pride, honesty, integrity, determined, committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte, fix it for good.
Welcome back here to Friday Night Lights here on the Mishawaka Network. We got a 2nd and 6 here for you, and we've got some big game news for you here soon. Isaiah Eggleston, what you got for us?
The Chiefs and the Chargers just kicked the field goal. Now they're up 13-3.
All right, 2nd and 6 for the Minutemen. LOD chance and the echoing here in the crowd, and Brevard's gonna charge forward, just short of the 5, marked at the 6. Not quite a first down, so 3rd and short. Timeout called.
Yeah, Brevard's not getting up yet.
Because of an
Mishawaka calls timeout.
So it won't be an official's timeout. It will be a timeout. Mishawaka. Brevard was slow to get up, limping as he walks to the sideline.
He's had a huge kind of load here tonight. You know, get a lot of carries, a lot of touches, and right there, he just got to kind of twist it up a little bit down in that pile. And this is kind of a dangerous spot if you're kind of both teams. Right now, if you're Concord, you got to score a touchdown. But on the opposite end, if you're the Cavemen, you know Concord's got to score a touchdown.
That's right.
This is 4-down territory at this point. So keeps your playbook open right on 3rd and 4. So we'll see what they do out of the break. Lots going on around Mishawaka. We had the volleyball game last night, Daniel. Only one broadcast next week. That'll be our school board meeting from John Young Middle School. So you can tune in on Wednesday for that. So a little bit of a break on home events. I'll be going out to some other home sporting events out at Baker Park. See some soccer, some tennis. Might be get into Eberhard Golf Course. See some golf as well. So lots going on as the Cavemen fall sports season is in full swing.
A lot going on here in the halls of Mishawaka.
Yeah. Daniel's still playing golf in the spring?
still playing golf.
There you go.
Excited for it.
Yeah,
So-
we got some finals on some sports we've already covered. Not a lot of updates so far. Penn with the blowout. Warsaw kind of winning with the blowout. Northwood pulled away from Wawasee. A couple close ones. Northridge, Plymouth, as well as Fairfield, Jimtown.
The crowd and the band getting excited here on the Mishawaka side. Cheerleaders and student section on the Concord side making some noise. Big third down and 4. 2:37. Brunner gonna hand it off to Brevard, and he's met by Ken Clemente and more. Getting a huge stop. Wow.
Ken Clemente came flying through. We'll see if we catch it here. Yeah, this is a great angle of it. Watch Ken Clemente. Left of your screen, he just fills that hole right. He's a rocket right through that hole and makes that play.
That's an extremely monumentous play for the Cavemen there.
Saw a replay from earlier. That never hurts.
There you go.
Isaiah, big play by the defense. It's 4th down, and it looks like 4th and 7 or 8 now. What do you think the Cavemen need to do to stop Concord on this play?
I mean, I think they're going to go for a field goal, but...
Yeah, they're down 4, though.
Yeah.
You only got 2:23. A field goal would make sense in a normal situation. I'm down 4 with only 2:20 left. I think I got to go for the touchdown.
Yeah.
You think they're going to try to run or pass? What do you think?
Try to pass it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Daniel, what do you think?
I'm going to have to say they've got to pass. No?
Yeah. I think you either trying to, get Brevard out in space. They haven't done a lot of screens. We saw that tunnel screen earlier. Maybe you do something to get Brevard out in space away from that D-line and those linebackers. They've got some options, though. Gomez has had a big game. You saw that deep pass. That worked out as the crowd gets into it now.
For the Minutemen, I've got to say, I think they're drawing anything up here. I would suggest that they get something where Brunner is rolling out the either direction. They're left hash now, so probably to his right, and just try to find somebody on the run. He's made a lot of big plays doing that.
Confusion on the defense here for the Cavemen.
Let's see what they do here. Brevard, let's see. He's going to have to roll out to his left. Makes a man miss. He's got guys there. Big throw, and it's way too long outside the back of the end zone. The Cavemen rally and stop him, but we've got a flag on the field.
Yeah, that's definitely on the Cavemen bench.
Oh,
Cam
no.
Putz took his helmet off. And he's talking to Keith Ginter. I think that's going to be after the play. Maybe it's just a sideline warning. I don't know. The ref threw that flag high.
Very high. And the Cavemen are getting hype. Drew Ginter hyping up the crowd. Camden Putz.
That's unsportsmanlike conduct. We've talked about this before, Daniel. You're hyped, you're excited, and all that, and it's the bench, it's the players. You gotta keep that in check. Yes, it's not the end of the world, but that pushes you back up towards the goal line.
Well, I mean, the Caveman offense is.
Yeah, that's gonna be what they're saying is that's gonna be after the play.
Yeah.
Right? So he's saying dead ball.
No, yeah, I know. All I'm saying is they still look fine. Like, they're not phased by the ball position at all. They look
Absolutely.
ready to go.
Yeah, I when you get into big games, when you get into tight spots, you can't risk those penalties, and that's where we're at. And we just got to, how do you celebrate? How do you get hyped? How do you be excited and not get those penalties? That's the question for the Cavemen.
Got to keep that focus. Got to,
Yeah, they're inside the 5 now.
Treat it like what it is. It is kind of business, And
it is exciting, and you want to be excited and celebrate, and you just got to figure out a way to do that.
And off inside up the middle, Caden O'Neill's maybe going to get 1 or no gain.
Yeah, and this is about ball security. That's a big one, right? So now it's figuring out, okay, what can you do to make sure you hold on to that ball? Really, 1 first down would end it, but do you risk making other plays and stuff, right? We've seen them lose yards. Both at Penn and here tonight going to the outside, but also gain big yards, right? So you kind of have those risk rewards there.
Well, let's see what they do. We got the big timeout there called. Mishawaka is going to take to the sideline and discuss some things. I think the only approach that they really could, only approach they really should take is bleeding out that clock. Like you said, ball security. We got to make sure we take care of the football, but they've got a perfect offense for bleeding clock. So if they can execute that properly, get those 4 to 5 yard gains, they'll be in good shape. And, the Concord Minutemen will have a long bus ride home.
And it's a question about, it's so tough if you're both teams, right? If you're the offense, do you risk some of those plays that could get you bigger yards? If you're Concord, you're really compressed on defense, trying to stop those runs by Caden O'Neill's had a huge game. But does that open up a quick around, for Landon Snyder, Carson Francis, Will Mason?
And I mean, yeah, like you said, it's desperate times calls for desperate measures.
This is the chess match part of the game.
Right. Do they commit to that run out the middle?
And right now, you're just seeing Landon Snyder survey the defense a little bit.
And there's a lot of guys on that line. And they're going to bring it. And you said they're going to have room on the outside. And boy, were you right. Landon Snyder, he's got room. Navarre's trying to chase him down, and he's just going to sit down and slide near midfield. Wow. Snyder, huge play for Mishawaka. With just over 2 remaining in this
Well,
fourth
and I
quarter.
think you got a lot of yards, which was good, and he knew he was getting caught, and he said, okay, we're going to take this thing down. And then I think they might be able to kneel this one out.
They got
no timeouts for Concord.
I think they'll be able to get that done. They let the clock bleed, and that was a play.
You saw Keith Kinder kind of motion to the refs, hey, kneel. So I think that's what they're going to do here, as there's 1:40, 10 seconds left on the play clock. And Cape Men have no timeouts either, so they've got to make sure to get up there and hike the ball.
Like soon. Okay, there we go.
There we go. What a play, and that's what we just talked about. I'm not always good at calling what's coming next, right? But you had the opportunity. You know they're going to press that line in if you can get it to the outside.
Look at Mr. Rendell showing off that little Tony Romo. Calling the play before it happens. And, I mean, you've got to be excited if you're the Cavemen, fans, and especially players and coaching staff. This is one that they've had circled on the calendar for a long time, all year. All year.
And this is a huge win for the Cavemen, coming off a disappointing. We talked about it after the game. It's disappointing, and I know it's hard to say when it's Penn. That game's important because of the rivalry, but you still have your eyes on championships. And one of those is the NLC championship, which you just missed out on last year.
Right.
And you had a chance now to do something about it, and right now the Cavemen have.
This is really, really huge for the Cavemen. I mean, you got it from the standpoint of, okay, how do we look as far as the conference? But also looking at it, okay, locker room morale, morale is skyrocketing now.
You're thinking of Morale and her win to be president of the student council, right? There you go.
Shout out to Morale. There we go. So the Cavemen will get it done. The clock will wind down, and the Cavemen in victory formation. They got it done. Now going to shake hands, and how good must this feel? Huge win there. We've got the student section coming on, and we're going to go ahead and kick it to a break. We'll be back here shortly. Again, Cavemen getting it done. Score 38-34. We'll be back with some scores, things like that here momentarily on the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
And we're back. As we said before the break, the Cavemen get it done over conference rival Concord. That's a huge win by 4 over the Minutemen. big avenging after last season losing a similar score, but they were on the other side of things. They lost by 1. But anyway, big score here. We got some other score updates from around the area.
Yeah, we got 5 finals, a couple other that are kind of blowouts right now. Isaiah's going to update us. What do we got, Isaiah?
Northwood and Wabasee just ended 36-7.
Who won that? Northwood?
And then Northridge and Plymouth are tied at 21. Final for Warsaw and Goshen. Warsaw won 37-7. Penn and Riley, that's a blowout, 42-6. Final in Marion and South Bend Adams, 21-0. Final for Elkhart in South Bend, Washington. Elkhart won it 34-13. Fairfield against Jimtown. Now this was an interesting game.
Yeah.
But Jimtown finally did it.
They
29-28 in a final against Fairfield.
Yep.
And South Bend, St. Joe, and New Prairie. South Bend, St. Joe. We assume this game's over. Well, it's in the third. But South Bend, St. Joe is leading 41-7 over New Prairie.
Yeah, so some big blowouts here tonight, but that Jimtown Fairfield, very interesting. 2-point conversion, 9 seconds, wins that game for Jimtown. So big win for the Jimmies here tonight. We were talking to Mr. Davidson of South Bend Tribune. He told us before we even started tonight, he said, hey, Jimtown's got a chance. Fairfield's got a good team, but Jimtown has a chance, and he was right.
He was.
Let's go. Some interesting things, Daniel. Cavemen win. Caden O'Neill probably player of the game. How do you feel about that?
I feel great about it. I think the Cavemen should feel great about it as well. I mean, he had a lot of big plays. And some of the plays that you don't really look at as energy shocking or things like that. They're still explosive plays because he's helping them matriculate down the field.
And Snyder had the touchdowns again. I think he ended up with maybe 2 or 3 on the night. He had that big run at the end to seal it. But O'Neill really hasn't featured much this year, and today he really did.
He definitely did, and I think player of the game is well-deserved by Caden O'Neill. But Landon Snyder also led his team to a strong victory. I mean, he was making those scans and reads at the line. And
who has Mishawaka got next week?
Mishawaka next week, they have Northwood at Northwood.
On the road. Interesting night here tonight because Mishawaka's going on the road next week. Concord's playing at home.
Here.
But playing here at Steele Stadium. So they get to host Steele. So Coach Kaler said they're wearing their green next week. But just a really classic game here. You know, you had the big 4th down stop. Honestly, pretty reminiscent of the Cavemen last week against Penn. Just opposite, right? Penn came up with a big stop at 2.5 minutes left on the Cavemen. And then Cavemen did the opposite today. And then obviously Snyder salted it with that run. So a big game here for the Cavemen. Last takeaways here, Daniel?
I mean, the Cavemen are in really good shape. We talked about the kind of heartbreak last week of Penn, but you and I were both saying on the sideline, look, this is tough from an emotional standpoint.
Absolutely, yeah. And you want to win every game.
Right, of course. You want to join that 2010 team amongst the others. But look, at the end of the day, as far as how the conference looks and things like that, you're at the top now. It's you and Warsaw. And so now when you go and take on Warsaw in these next couple of weeks, that's also going to be a big game for them.
Yeah, your number one goal is still on the table. That number one goal is win a state title.
And with that Warsaw game, that's also here.
Big one.
Now on the road. So that'll be huge as well. So
and Northwood came, they went down 7-0 Wawasee, but they blew them out at the end too.
Right. So
you can't take, really, I know, Goshen's having a tough time. Wawasee is trying to get their program up and running. But you can't take weeks off in the NLC. You got Northwood, Northridge, Plymouth looks like they might be better, right? So you have these teams that have put on good shows in so far this season.
And in this program, this conference, you got to remember, this is the only conference in the state where every single team, all 8 teams, have played in an IHSAA state championship. So that's pretty huge. That means a lot.
Huge, yeah. I mean, you've got teams across the board that can make plays, that can put you in bad positions. And, you got a couple that, maybe you think you might have an easy win here or there, but you got to play every week, and that's what Coach Kinder says all the time.
That's right. And, Coach Kaler and the Minutemen, they're not in bad shape. They're now 2-1, just like the Cavemen. And, they have an opportunity to make some surges, but this is a conference game. This means more. So the Cavemen getting the edge in this one means a lot. But 2 very good teams that have very good seasons ahead of them.
Final takeaways, Isaiah? How do you feel like the game was tonight?
Not a lot of, I mean, a lot of penalties for Concord, but not a lot for Mishawaka.
Yeah,
I
a
mean,
lot of points.
Yeah.
A lot of points on the board here tonight. Good job on the updates, Isaiah. We're going to have you back hopefully in 2 weeks for homecoming here as the Cavemen will take on Goshen. Daniel, send us off.
All right. Thank you very much, Matt Rendell and Isaiah Eggleston joining us, and to the whole Mishawaka Network crew, and most importantly to you all watching us, especially those who went through the long haul of watching the entirety of the football game. We really appreciate it. Also, a quick shout out to our sponsors, Burns Laundry and Forte Waterproofing. They're the reasons we're able to make these broadcasts for you and keep them free, keep in mind. Thank you very much. Great night here in Mishawaka, a cool fall September night, and the Cavemen are victorious. Final score, 38-34. Mishawaka prevails over the Concord Minutemen. Thank you very much for tuning in. Good night from the Mishawaka Network.